The following program is an exclusive Disruption Networks production.
So you just bought your dream home, and now it's time to move. Let's face it, nobody likes to move. All the packing, unpacking, lifting, upstairs, downstairs, and broking everything, including your back. Let the professionals at EJA Moving Company take all the stress and pain out of your move. Competitively priced moving, relocation services, office moves, and complete packing and unpacking services. They work with everybody to make it simple and easy for you to move and relocate. Call EJA Moving Company at 315-335-0516. When it's time to relocate, have EJA Moving do all the work for you. Hit them up online, ejamoving.com.
Hey, Disruption Network. This is Mike Sacco, the general manager at Nye Volkswagen of Rome. If you don't know me by name, it's only because you have not received the best deal. There's only one reason to leave Utica, and that's to come see me in Rome and get the best deal on your next new, pre-owned, or certified VW. Mention that you heard this ad from Disruption Network and receive $250 off your next vehicle purchase. You'll know why our customers say, I love my Nye VW. Come see us at 5865 Rome Taberg Road in Rome, or visit us online at nyvwofrome.com.
Join us Saturday, October 13th as Disruption Network and Doughboy Barbecue presents Trip Fest 2 at the Jewish Community Center, 2310 Oneida Street in Utica. A night to pay homage to Vinny, Captain Trip Moriel. Utica icon, yo! Come pick through all Captain Trip's personal treasures, local artist display, food from Doughboy Barbecue, beer, wine, and live music. Bands include, after a 24-year hiatus, the return of Taurus, Kate Devin, The Crazy Fools, Thunderwatt, and a 315 All-Star tribute to the Grateful Dead. Tickets are $10 in advance and $15 at the door. Partial proceeds to benefit Laney's Army. Doors open at 6 o'clock. Taurus kicks it all off at 6:30. It's Trip Fest 2, Saturday, October 13th. Trip Fest 2 is sponsored by Nye Volkswagen of Rome, 92.7 FM The Drive, Priceless Inspection, Donato Appraisal Services, Dr. Scott Domenico, and Saranac Brewery.
The Property Sisters of the Mohawk Valley was born when three top producing agents with over 25 years of combined experience selling real estate joined forces to take real estate to the next level. We practice with honesty, integrity, and the knowledge to help make the buying and selling process easy and stress-free for all of our clients. We pledge to always make our clients our top priority from start to finish and even after the house is closed. We will always be a valued resource for information and assistance for our buyers and sellers. Our customers over the years have become not only past clients, but great friends. As we join hands together as the Property Sisters of the Mohawk Valley, we look forward to serving our clients and our community and making a positive difference. You can reach us at 315-601-9630 for all of your real estate needs.
All right, listen up, everybody. This is former Governor of California, Arnold Schwarzenegger. You're listening to the D-Line, only on Disruption Networks. That's the D. Do it now. Rah, rah.
Welcome to the D-Line.
Illegal contact! Number 51! Senkutsu elbow thrust! To the up back! Orimawatsu roundhouse lunge kick! To the quarterback! Takatami insword block to the... Shoot, never mind. 15 yards! First down!
Live football podcast on the Disruption Network.
You just got the feeling that he spelled the a-hole and then got it in the end zone.
You find out life's this game of inches. So is football.
And now, here's your hosts, Chicken, Caleb, and Sil.
But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
What's up, everybody?
Hey.
Welcome to the D-Line.
What up, boys?
What's going on? We got Caleb and Sil, and for the first time, I think ever, Caleb and Gaffney are in the same room at the same time.
At the D.
At the D.
It's been a while, huh? Yeah. I think we were in the other room the last time that happened.
Everything, Caleb's like, hey, I gotta, I can't make it in today. Gaff. What's Gaff you doing, Gaff? Come on in, buddy.
Johnny on the spot.
It would help if I actually turned the cameras on. Hey, there we go.
Hey,
it builds suspense.
Yeah, exactly. You could hear the voice, but you couldn't see it.
Like, who's that?
Pay no attention.
I'm like, why is my screen black?
The people behind the curtain.
Yeah, exactly. What's up, guys?
Wow. I got to say, we're going to jump right into it, but last Thursday's game was amazing.
That was pretty good.
That Vikings-Rams game
was
a
good
That
one.
was pretty awesome.
That was an awesome pass to Cup in the corner of the end.
I was going to say which pass, because there was a lot of great passes.
The one where he just
that one
awesome
pass in that game. Yeah, that was an awesome game, and it seems like last year every Thursday game was crap.
Oh, bad.
Right.
And
Speaking of tonight.
so far it's been. Speaking of tonight, that's a little preview of tonight's game. To this point, there's been some awesome Thursday night games. The Baker Mayfield debut a couple weeks ago, the shootout last week.
Yeah.
Very entertaining. It's a nice change of pace. But I have to bring this up because it's my first time back on the show this season. But it's not as good as that Seattle-Houston game
right, yeah.
from last season.
Which wasn't a Thursday night game.
It was not, yeah.
It was a Sunday afternoon.
Dave saying that.
What a game.
That was the last day Caleb actually checked on his team.
On draft day, EC baseball draft day. Yeah.
That is incorrect. I've played at least a month.
Speaking of bandage, like boy, he must have been torn. You know, like a parent over two children. Like
I know with the Raiders and the Raiders and Browns.
Yes.
Oh man, and from Oakland, from that shitty stadium in Oakland.
Cleveland had every opportunity in the world to win that game.
They did, and they had a bad call go against them there too towards the end that gave the Raiders life to drive down the field and score a touchdown and 2-point conversion. But yeah, I mean, regardless of what happens in that call, you got to stop them or at least prevent the 2-point conversion there.
I feel like that's like the Browns past like 2 or 3 years. Is they like last year they fought a lot of great games. They were in those games and they fought hard. And you're like, holy crap! They didn't like just get ran over, but they just for some reason keep falling short. just barely losing. And you're like, dude, just a little tweak in here and there, and you guys could be actually a playoff team.
It kind of seems like they last year too. They got to like that spot, and then Hugh Jackson would lose the game for him.
Right? Maybe that's it.
You know, dumb play calling or not putting your guys in the best position to win. I thought that was something he struggled with. But I mean, we've barked up the Hugh Jackson tree enough.
Defensively, they were fine. You know, Chubb had some nice runs. You know. It just
There's something in the Greg Williams water, man. I'm telling you, with the way that guy coaches defense and the success that he's gotten out of defenses. I mean, he turned around a few years back. I remember he turned around. I mean, obviously he got in trouble for the hitting scandal.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe it's bounties.
Yeah, maybe it's bounties. But hey, you know what? Damn it, he gets him to go out there and play. He does.
Bounties work, man.
The middle linebacker. I can't even think of his name. The middle linebacker in Cleveland. It's this guy. I think his name's like Sean Corbett or something like that. Or, like he was a Pro Bowler last year. Like he's a guy you've never heard of. And when they played the Jets, he was on fire. He couldn't be stopped. You know, and last year he was a Pro Bowler again. I'm telling you, there's something in the Greg Williams water.
Yeah,
and
he's a good D coordinator.
It might be a couple hundred underneath the water, but whatever. Hey, it's got to do what you got to do.
He is a very good defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Former head coach of the Buffalo Bills.
The
D coordinator.
Former head coach of the Buffalo Bills. Gaffney's right. The shutout Buffalo Bills last week. Yeah. They looked terrible again. Yeah. It was just...
It's pretty ugly.
Back to reality.
That was pretty ugly.
That was gross.
From the ultimate high to the ultimate low.
Dude, that O-line was so porous. They made Green Bay's defensive line look like the purple people eaters from the freaking 70s. You know, the steel curtain.
Yeah.
Monsters of the Midway.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how bad the O-line for the Bills looked.
And that was and two, I think not a lot of people realize it too. That was after the previous week, Green Bay's defensive line suffered a huge loss when they lost Muhammad Wilkerson.
Right.
So it's like you're going against. I mean, Green Bay's defense has always just kind of been there in my mind. Like it's not a defense you look on the matchup sheet and you're like you circle that one because it's going to be the toughest matchup.
Their defense is fine enough because they're usually playing with a lead.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So with Aaron
point.
Rodgers, you're always playing with a lead, so they just really got to pin their ears back and just run after the quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, they finished the game with 2 sacks. 2 sacks right in a row. Yeah, because that's all they did was they just pinned their ears back and went.
Yeah,
that offensive line in Buffalo is probably the worst I have ever seen on any team.
So what the hell was...
I don't know. The Bears could have...
What the hell was that?
Had their moments too, but that this season that line is
I think David
it's the worst I remember seeing in a long time. Yeah, maybe he would, but this Buffalo Bills line is right there with that Houston Texans OL from back in the day.
You don't remember the game where Cutler got sacked 9 times in one half of football against the Giants?
No.
9 times, and they still tried to pass the Browns. But
so Gaff, let's get your you being a Bills fan. Sorry,
right before you go there, Dave wanted to know if it was Christian Kirksey that you were talking about.
Yes, thank you. Yes, that's exactly what it is, Dave. Thank you.
I've never really heard of him.
Exactly, he's not a household name by any means, but I'll tell you something. He's making a name for himself.
Probably something I should have looked up, but thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
You brought Apple Crisp. You're good.
Free pass.
So yeah,
that's why I'm here. By the way, is because of the Apple Crisp.
Did you get some?
I did, and I was
now, just so everybody knows, I won both my bets against chicken, but I still brought it in anyways, just because it's delicious.
What were the bets again?
That the Bills would win. He thought the Bills would win. I said, if Bills win, I'm bringing an Apple Crisp. And then he said, if Jordan Howard gets 100 yards.
I
said, if he gets a fucking 100 yards, I'm bringing an Apple Crisp.
Is he going to rush for 100 yards on the season?
He didn't get 100 yards. So.
Is he going to get 100 yards on the season?
I don't even think the Bears had 100 yards rushing total.
Oh, yeah, they did.
I don't even think they
was Trubisky had a couple big runs.
Cohen was also killing on the run. So I think Cohen had probably about almost 60, 70 yards on the ground.
Yeah.
He had like 100.
I think Trubisky had 45, so I think we're good.
He had almost 45 in one play.
We'll talk about that team in a second.
I want to
go. I want to go back. I want to go back to Big Gaff. We got to get Gaff's opinion. But Gaff, the fall from graces of the Buffalo Bills. Talk a little bit about it. Touch a little bit on it. I just
what graces?
I was going to say, yeah.
But last year was a good season. Last year was a damn good season. Things were looking up.
It was a good season last year,
They're in a shit
especially by Buffalo standards.
Yeah, you made the playoffs.
I don't know if you guys have really looked into the Bills' cap situation going forward, and that is a major factor in why they're where they are this season so far. They have over $50 million in dead cap on the books this year.
For who? I mean, they got nobody on that.
Well, it's all dead cap money, so it's from guys that they've caught or traded. So when they traded Marcel Darius last season, they took a hit on their cap, and they didn't mind doing that because they weren't near spending to the cap anyway.
Yeah.
So I assume here, and I'm trying to put myself in Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott's heads here. I assume what they're doing is basically figuring development year. That offensive line is horrendous. Traded the extra picks to go up and get your quarterback of the future, which I have been impressed with Allen. He's behind, like I said, one of the worst offensive lines in the league, if not the worst by far. So he's running for his life, but I have been impressed with him at times, and I'm confident that he'll be fine with the right personnel around him, whether that's better weapons or an actual real NFL offensive line. So next year they're going into the offseason with I think it's $80+ million in cap space.
Yeah, the Jets and Bills are up there.
You actually think they have a plan on this? Because it really seems like a dumpster fire.
I would like to think so. I can't say for sure because it does look like a dumpster fire. But going into the season, that's everything I heard preseason was this is going to be basically a lost season already. And we'll see what they can bring in for free agents or what. But yeah, they obviously have a lot of work ahead of them to become a competitive football team on the regular.
I just don't know why they didn't add to what they had going on last year. I mean, last year they felt like a team that had a good core group of players that were playing hard for their coach, and then you get rid of your quarterback and, you get rid of like different, regular players that play, the team rallied around.
Sure.
All you need to do is add some, another wide receiver, a better tight end.
Dave's chiming in. He says cheap owner. That is actually not true in this case with the Pagulas. You might have been able to say that about the Ralph Wilson era, but they by no means have a cheap owner these days. And they had some terrible luck too. You had your starting center, Pro Bowl quality center, having to retire by
forced
to retire. Ended up having a chronic neck issue, and they told him he could not play football anymore. You had Richie Incognito go off the deep end this year, and right there, those are two of your best offensive linemen from last season. And there was a lot of self-inflicted things that happened that put them where they are, but there was also some things like that were out of their control. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Thank God for fantasy football. That's all I have to say. That keeps me interested.
Keeps you interested
when there is a dumpster fire like this going on. But it ain't pretty for sure.
I think it can obviously be said that there is a strategy going forward, and it's Josh Allen, and I think that's just the start of it. I think that I think a lot of Bills fans dismay too. I think it's going to be a long process, which it's been long for a while. So what are they going to, they really have not too much to complain about. And I think it's going to be, I think you could even see more money on the books too. I think you could see a McCoy gone at the end of this year. I think Kelvin Benjamin's definitely gone because he's played.
Oh, that's a guarantee.
Shit.
He's a free agent after the season.
He's still in the NFL.
Yeah, he just can't catch the ball. He can't catch the ball. You look on the Bills roster and like you watch the game on Sunday and it's like watching a college football game that you don't know the other team. Like it's like watching Alabama play like Southeastern Louisiana because you're like, Jack Smith, who is that? And he's starting at wide receiver. Like, who the fuck is that? Like that's what it's like now watching the Bills. I flipped over to that game, and I as we all are, I'm very informed on the NFL and very informed on player movement and stuff like that.
Jack Smith was a Jets receiver.
Yeah, exactly. But like, there's no push there. They do have a few good decent players on offense that have been names in the NFL and they're just not performing.
If this Josh Allen kid actually shows like that he's got the goods to actually take him and be a franchise quarterback, now you're looking at free agency in a whole different way where people are going to want to start playing for this guy. Like, and you're going to get rid of McCoy, but you're going to go out there and running backs are going to want to play for this team. You got to fix that O-line though first. You really got to fix that
priority 1A.
Because otherwise, you got your quarterback. He gets hurt. Guess what? You're fucked.
Yeah. And Dave's just chiming in again. He says, if Josh Allen is the future, why put him behind that line? That's a disaster waiting to happen.
True.
And that is a valid question. And I agree with you on that, Dave.
Yeah, but sometimes
that was really bad.
Like Watson last year, that line was terrible with Savage in there. Horrible. Watson gets in there, he can get around, and use his legs to create plays and to, just run the ball. Mm-hmm. Where I think Allen could do that too. So, like, behind a bad line, at least gives you some kind of chance. And they don't have to hold the blocks longer. They can just, he could get away.
That's one thing he has going for him is he is a very mobile quarterback. So he has gotten away from a lot of pressure, but it's inevitable that he is just going to get crushed
and
on a week-to-week basis.
And then you got to wonder, like, is it the individuals or is it the O-line coach? I always look at that.
I think it's just a lack of talent.
If you consistently got shitty, like, O-line, I'm sorry, but you're a professional football player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You should be able to get coached to a point where you can actually play the position like somewhat well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so that's what I think is like sometimes your O-line coach, maybe you need to look at change there.
Sure. I agree. I mean, sometimes that is the problem. Sometimes and sometimes too, it's just a new, a new voice that you need. It's re-energizing a team. It's what you hear in Tennessee right now. All those guys in that Tennessee locker room are all preaching to Mike Vrabel and how great Vrabel's been, and the slogan that's gone around in pop culture nowadays is for the boys. Saturdays are for the boys. The whole Barstool thing, and that's what the Titans are using. That's their rally cry, for the boys. Taylor Lewan gave an interview the other day that would make anybody want to run through the wall with him.
Well, see,
and it's about a culture.
That's where I think like guys like Incognito missing from the lineup, as crazy as he is, and all the turmoil that surrounds that guy. He's that bruiser. He's a guy. He's the leader on the O line, and those O lines are just a different type of animal.
Sure.
And when you get a mean kind of guy, you want a mean guy in your line.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And that's infectious to the other guys on the line. I mean, Sil, you were a center for a long time. We get up to the line, I'm like, Sil, what do I do? Where do I go?
Right.
And he's like, all right, you're blocking to the right. You're blocking to the left. You're, pass blocking. And he would tell guys where to go. That's the importance of having veterans on your line.
And I think even more so than Incognito, losing Eric Wood is extremely damaging.
Losing Wood, period, sucks.
Yes, it does.
They got pills for that.
True that.
Give him one, Sil.
So I
got pills for that here right now.
I think it's time.
They're hard to come by.
It's time.
Yeah, that deserves a couple bell rings.
I think it is time to let you know that you were beyond wrong, and I was right about Ryan Fitz-No-Magic Patrick.
Yeah, but no, you weren't wrong.
I was spot on right.
No. Because then they put in Winston, and he did dick.
Well, yeah.
It's that defense.
Because he hasn't been with the team. He hasn't been with the team for 4 weeks. He hasn't been able to practice with the team for 4 weeks. They threw him in, and obviously now, in no surprise to anybody.
You really think that was going to matter? Do you really think that was going to matter?
Not against that team.
I'm actually glad that he put Winston in at the half because just for that
Oh yeah,
so people that can't say
and then the picks. Was it 1 or 2 picks? I know at least 1. I remember
he had practiced for 4 days with the team.
I don't want to hear excuses.
He played all.
I mean, I openly admit I was wrong. I was right about the running game, but that passing game just came out of
you weren't right about the running
way.
game. It was a player. I mean, they ran the ball down Tampa's throat.
No, they didn't.
Yeah,
they threw the ball down their throat.
6 touchdown passes from Mitchell.
That was
Trubisky.
amazing. I could not believe that was coming from a Bears quarterback.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was like, where the hell did this come from? And because it goes back to the Goff game, and I'm like, when can Trubisky make that turn like Goff did? Mm-hmm. And then, boom, he just like, they opened up the playbook.
No, here's what they did over the week. They realized his pre-snap reads weren't what they should be. So they hit the film room and fixed his pre-snap reads. That's why he was hitting receivers while they were wide open.
Really?
And not just going through the reads, missing a wide open fucking Burton in the middle of the field. He was recognizing where they should be versus the defense that they're getting.
Sure.
That was one display. Like I was like, wow, I can't believe this is coming from a Bears team. It's just completely unexpected. And that defense, man, they set the tone.
Yeah.
And now they got 2 weeks to prepare for Miami. I'm fucking loving it.
Yeah. And that's also to go, as we all can see, the 2 bye week teams this week, the Bears and Buccaneers. That's why you have to make the change for the Buccaneers. A quarterback, give them a week.
Yep.
Yeah, like you said, Winston had a couple days to prepare for last week, and now they have 2 weeks to get ready for the next game.
Yeah.
Now, if Winston comes out and sucks next game,
I'm not putting all my eggs in Jameis Winston's basket, by the way. Okay, I'm not willing to go out on that limb. All right.
If I have to choose between Fitzpatrick and Winston, I'm going Fitzpatrick all day long, and I'll tell you why. Because Fitzpatrick has that locker room. Those guys like him. They like the leadership. They like to me. Fitzpatrick is Josh McCown.
Okay.
He's that guy. He'll give you a great year, like 1 year time, and then he'll shit the bed. Or he'll give you like awesome games, throw like 4 touchdowns, and then like the next game he's throwing 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
How about how he ends up starting everywhere he goes? I mean, every single
McCown.
team he goes to, he goes there as a backup quarterback. Right. And yeah, McCown same way.
Exactly.
Then he ends up starting like a majority of the season in a lot.
But this is but
injuries
you know what
happened.
This is what you
never see coming.
What happened in the first 4 games for Tampa Bay is exactly what they asked for out of him. That's exactly they couldn't ask much more out of him. I mean, he played like dog shit. I thought in the first half. I think more.
I mean, it's even more than they could have asked.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Tampa Bay, I think if you had told Dirk Cutter that he would be 2-2 after the first 4 games of the season. Jesus,
that's poop cutter.
That they would be at least 2-2 and they're 3-1. I mean, shit. You can't ask for much more than that if you're him with Ryan Fitzpatrick and a quarterback. But that's
he was this close to 3-1. I mean, it wasn't that far out of the realm.
Yeah, I think what he did was amazing. I'm impressed, but go back to your spot now and move back to the bench.
Yeah, just wait for Winston to get hurt or suspended,
exactly.
and he'll be right back in there.
He'll smoke weed again.
But that's why I thought like
steal some crab legs
with like Jacksonville picking up. If they went after Teddy Bridgewater, made more sense than backing up Drew Brees, because with Drew Brees, you probably never see the field, and B, even when Drew is gone, you're just bringing up another older veteran that you're unsure about. Whereas like someplace like Jacksonville, Blake Bortles gets hurt, you want somebody that can keep the ship running. And with somebody like Teddy Bridgewater, who is experienced, but now you put Bridgewater with Teddy or Bortles, and maybe you could give him a little help on the sidelines. Be that extra little experienced quarterback behind him. But
you also, I mean, when you let me go back here, okay? I think you forget that Teddy Bridgewater is only 25, okay? And he's got a lot of years left in the NFL. And Drew Brees has 2 at most. We're being generous that this next year was probably his last season, I would say. Now you've given him, now you're at 27, and you've got a quarterback that has developed for 2 years in this offense. It makes sense for him to go there. You're also, the other problem you have with bringing a quarterback in and putting like a Teddy Bridgewater and putting him behind a Blake Bortles is you're telling Blake Bortles, we don't believe in you.
No, I disagree.
I totally agree. That's exactly how it is.
That's why you got Fitzpatrick down there backing up Winston.
But
we're not telling Winston we're putting
Fitzpatrick is a filler backup quarterback.
Teddy Bridgewater
is not. Teddy Bridgewater is the future in New Orleans right now.
I disagree. Because if I'm New Orleans, wouldn't I go out and get it? If I got about 2 years with Drew Brees, why not go out and get a rookie quarterback and draft a rookie and develop him along.
Well, they've tried to do that, but it's just
because they leave after a few years because they're just.
But I'll take a proven commodity in Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater has proven that he can win. He has won in the NFL.
I'm with Caleb on this one.
But here's the thing: like,
you put a veteran behind somebody like Blake Bortles. Now you got if he goes down, you got somebody that could right that ship. That
they have a
carry
veteran behind him. I mean, Cody Kessler. What's really the difference? Cody Kessler started at the NFL.
Yeah, and he did shitty. You know what I mean? Like.
Well, so that's exactly my point. Why Blake Bortles hasn't done anything wrong.
I would rather it's someplace like in where you have a defense that helps you and you got a running game and then you got a guy that could carry you into the playoffs. Because if Bortles go down and you're going into the playoffs, you don't have a guy that could carry this ship. You really don't.
Yeah, you write the season off. You're done.
You're done. Yeah, but if you had a guy there like Teddy Bridgewater who could play earlier,
I don't think there's a team in the NFL that has a quarterback that says a team. There's no team in the NFL right now, I believe, that said if their quarterback got hurt, if they were a destined playoff team, that they would be like, yeah, we're still going to the playoffs. No, you're
the Eagles.
The Eagles are it. The Eagles are it. That would be it, right? That would be the only team that I would say, hey, I've got a backup quarterback that can step in because I'm looking at this sheet and I really don't think so that there's another one.
New Orleans. You just said Teddy Bridgewater is the future New Orleans.
Yes, the future, not this year. I don't think Teddy Bridgewater brings the same thing that Drew Brees does at this time.
I think Tampa could. I think Tampa, you're splitting hairs with who's better, your backup or your starter. I really do.
I guess I could give you that one, but like. I don't like look at the wheels when the wheels fell off Houston, the almighty Houston Texans last year. You know, when Deshaun Watson got hurt. See ya.
But that's what I'm saying. No, you got a team that could go deep in the playoffs. Why not grab that guy like a Teddy Bridgewater to like just for that case? You know, or
because you don't give up a 3rd round pick for a backup quarterback.
Sometimes you do if the disparity between your starter and your backup is that bad. You might want to think about it because after seeing what happened last year with the Philadelphia Eagles, the premium for backup quarterbacks is pretty high.
And you've seen the other side of the coin with Green Bay, with Rodgers going down, and how bad Indianapolis is without Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
But I do think that Bridgewater could be the future there in New Orleans. And yeah, he is only 25 years old, and he might not have accomplished a ton, but if you do look at his career numbers, they're not bad. And he's young, you know, and sure, there's injury concerns there and everything for what he went through. You never know, but I think he's easily one of the better backup quarterbacks in the league, and he is very young still.
Yeah, I think it's kind of to the same point of too, like when you think. I think you make a good point there with Green Bay. I think it's that there's. You see, look at Miami as well. Miami was supposed to have a pretty damn good team last year, and Tannehill's gone. Jay Cutler comes in. Jay Cutler sucks. In Miami, season's a wash. So
don't forget Matt Moore sucked too.
Well, yeah. Matt Moore got fucked though. They should have gone with Matt.
He should have gotten fucked because he sucks. He was terrible.
Well,
they were both terrible.
He can't win them all.
But I mean, in that defense,
Kaepernick's still a free agent.
I still. Then you're going to another bad quarterback.
Well, but he's been there. He's a proven winner. So.
Really? Because the past 3 years in San Fran, they sucked.
Yeah,
sucked. Supporting terrible. Cast. You can't read a defense.
Supporting cast.
I think. I don't know. Moving on. I don't want to get into the discussion about Kaepernick. You fucker! I can't believe you brought him up.
I had to.
He just wanted to steer away from the Jets sucking so bad.
Oh man, you were sucking so much. He's deflecting last week. They got blown out. That was the game. It was the Jaguars versus Jets game that you said it was the Jaguars would win by 40.
Right, and I was close.
You were close.
What was the final score on that?
30-12. Okay, back off.
I was close.
You notice I'm not talking anything over here. Right? I have no space to talk shit about the Jets.
So the AFC, the 3 teams in the AFC East outside the Patriots last week scored 15 points.
Oh my goodness.
Let that sink in.
Right, yeah. We had 3 games go to overtime last week. The Browns and Raiders, the Texans and Colts, and the Eagles and Titans. And I thought the Titans in overtime, when they went for it on 4th and 2, already in field goal range, instead of going for the field goal, he went for the fucking win and got the 2 yards. That's fucking balls. That's awesome.
Would have been awesome if they didn't get it.
You know, Frank Reich for the Colts, he did the same thing. It's just he didn't. He had the balls to go for it on on fourth in his own territory, and it didn't work out, and it left the Texans right in fucking field goal range. So all they basically had to do was
right now in the chat line. There's a huge debate about AJ McCarron.
I saw AJ McCarron's name.
He got let go because of basically politics. They wanted to groom the fucking rookie immediately, and AJ McCarron.
Are we talking about AJ McCarron in Buffalo?
Yeah, he should still be there.
He should.
It's probably money. It's got to be money.
I think that's how this the chat conversation started. Was the point of the Bills were dumb to let AJ McCarron go.
Yes.
They absolutely were.
They're dumb to trade for him in the first place.
And I don't think they were dumb to trade for him in the first place. What I think they should done was kept McCarron on the roster, kept Allen on the roster. And then you start A.J. McCarron. I don't care how terrible he is or how good you think he is or whatever. That's what they should have done, because that protects Josh Allen a little bit with this porous offensive line. It gives you somebody with a little bit more experience than Peterman, at least somebody who's been in an NFL locker room for years now. Not that you would expect much out of him. Not that I think the Bills would be any good with A.J. McCarron starting.
But would 2-2 be too much to ask from a journeyman?
It's Ryan Fitzpatrick just did it. So
that's what I'm getting at. It's the same argument.
To be fair, he's got a lot more experience and a lot more time in the NFL.
Now, if you're AJ McCarron, now everyone's saying it's bad that they let him go. Maybe he requested to be let go. You know what I mean? Now you're playing behind this rookie. You just drafted this rookie. You know you're not going to be the starter. So now you're like, well, what the fuck? I thought I was coming over here to be the starter. Now you go and draft this kid. So now your fate's already proved to you. Like you're not going to be the starter in Buffalo. So maybe
did you fart, Caleb?
Damn, dude.
I'm like, what the fuck is that?
It smells like the Jets. Oh, man.
Yeah.
He walked right by me as he handed that beer, and I'm like, what the fuck just came my way?
So that's how you feel about A.J. McCarron.
Yeah, that's A.J. McCarron. No, I'll tell you something. I like McCarron.
Woo! Yeah, the whispering winds of shit for real. But I'm thinking with A.J. McCarron, actually might have requested to be let go, because now he has a chance to get picked up by another team and actually be able to start.
I think the thing too that I kind of agree with that statement and a little bit, but I also think, if I'm going to request a trade, it's not going to be to Oakland.
I think it's funny he went to Oakland, and E.J. Manuel, another former Buffalo Bills star, was cut as a result of that trade.
Well, if you go to Buffalo, you go to Oakland, right? So Derek Carr gets hurt a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So you got a better chance.
He is fragile. You're right.
And getting in there, and people are wondering, if it sputters over there, he can get in and play. And now you get some wide receivers ahead. You got Amari Cooper, you got Jordy Nelson.
Mm-hmm.
You got guys there that can play the ball, play and throw to. So
my question in Buffalo is why, if you're
and Gruden.
Here's the exactly. That's
you know what I mean. Now you can get coached up by Gruden.
The other issue too that for like AJ McCarron is if you're in Buffalo and you're sitting there and they've tried so hard to push Peterman like that was this is their boy he's like Jesus coming back to Buffalo.
Sean McDermott loves Nate Peterman.
He loves him.
I don't understand.
But here's my thing.
He loves Nate Peterman.
Why are we what AJ McCarron at least has a body of work in the NFL. You have to give him the ball and let him mentor a young quarterback like a Josh Allen. Andy Dalton did it with him.
Right.
He learned from him. So I don't know. It doesn't make sense
because the front office is saying we went through and we spent all this money, we drafted, traded out to get this guy.
Yeah.
So we're not going to sit him on the bench, and the fans want to come and see the young quarterback.
Yeah.
And then when he came out and
poo-pooed.
Well, when he came out against the Vikings and played really well, people were like, "Oh shit, we're on board."
Then
no, he was talking about Peterman.
No, I'm talking about Allen.
Yeah, I know, but he was talking about Peterman.
I understand that.
Yeah,
I understand that. I'm saying about AJ McCarron, why Peterman they didn't go with McCarron and then instead of the rookie.
Okay,
because the rookie brings people into the crowd, so that's why AJ McCarron gets pushed to the back.
So do you think when
Peterman, he sucks.
Do you think when AJ?
Yeah, but Peterman started the season
as a sacrificial lamb.
Yeah, exactly.
But I would have made
love lamb on Heroes.
I would have made the sacrificial lamb McCarron. But do you know what AJ McCarron did? He moved out west. And when you move,
yeah.
what should you do?
Well, you fucking get your reads up and
Speaking of reads,
and you patiently wait for Microsoft fucking Word to open.
Segue.
And you call EJA Moving Company. Professional movers, 315-335-0516. Competitively priced moving, relocation services, office moves, complete packaging, and unpackaging services. They work with everyone and make it simple for you to move and relocate. EGAMoving.com. When it's time to relocate, have EGA Moving do all the work for you.
Hot lunch.
AJ McCarron. Do you know too? I didn't realize this until this week. Did you know that Adam Vinatieri's been in the NFL 23 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
20
and now he's got the record. Yeah.
Years of playing football. 23 years. That was that was a cool moment to see that. And it was cool to see it through the. I actually watched a cool replay. Pat McAfee, who was at Barstool for a while and then left and now he's on his own. He was with Vinatieri in Indy for 4 years, and they loves the guy,
right?
And to watch him, and Pat McAfee tries to be this big tough, hard ass kind of type guy, and he got choked up watching it because he loves Vinatieri so much. But 23 years to hold the kicking record, good for that guy. He deserves every bit of it.
Yeah.
So Vinatieri Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
no problem.
Yeah.
And then
second ballot all the way.
Kicker ballot.
Because what year did Janikowski? Well, how long has he been in there? He's got to be really close to that too.
He was 2000.
Yeah, he was the 17th overall pick in 2000. 2000. Mm-hmm. I was in the third grade.
In the year 2000.
Year 2000.
Yeah. But yeah, that's I was really impressed with that. So
speaking of records, too, Drew Brees this week. Drew Brees is going to likely set the all-time passing yardage record.
Drew Brees is amazing.
Yeah,
I think
he only needs 140 yards.
I think he broke the completions record last week or the week before, I want to say,
right.
And he's just behind Manning and Favre for the yardage record. And he doesn't have that much to go.
If he plays like he did last week, he would not get there.
Or no, sorry, he needs 201 yards.
201 yards, and Mark Ingram is back too this week.
Yeah, it's gonna lighten the load on him a little bit. So,
this guy would thrown 50 touchdowns in a season.
Yeah,
how many times? The guy's amazing.
It's kind of weird to say, but he's got to be one of the most underrated players.
He is.
I mean, I know
Absolutely.
he gets his due, but he doesn't get it as much as he should.
Because he doesn't win a lot of Super Bowls. He won one, right? But they've always had a really good offense, but a shitty defense, or they've gone up against some stiff competition. I knew he was going to get all. Started licking his chops.
He was ready for that one.
But Drew Brees, when you talk about best quarterback in the league, they always go Aaron Rodgers. You always hear Tom Brady. And then you never hear Drew Brees that often. And for the numbers that he puts up, I don't understand why.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, how many Super Bowls did Brett Favre have?
One.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, I hate. You're right, because at the end of the day, what have you done for me? That's all that matters.
I mean, Brett Favre did go to 2.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's only got 1 ring.
Well, the one that Breeze went to was against Brett Favre's in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah,
so those are that close.
It's amazing to think too. A lot of people forget that Drew Brees was in San Diego to start his career out.
Oh, I did.
And then the Phillip Rivers draft pick and stuff like that, and the great trade of
the whole
Manning.
Eli Manning.
Yeah, Eli wouldn't play in San Diego and stuff, and then Drew Brees ended up. And it was it's something that Drew Brees it's actually an interesting watch. There's a great interview I watched on YouTube of Drew Brees talking about that trade and talking about what Phillip Rivers means. So him and Phillip Rivers are very close, and it was. Drew Brees went to the front office there and said, I need to move on. And I believe that I think it was a trade. It was either a trade or
no, I think he was released, wasn't he?
I'm not sure which one it was, but he was good.
He almost went to Miami.
He almost went to Miami. That's what it was. And
he had a shoulder injury.
And he told the front office there, and to this day, Phillip Rivers still speaks highly of him. And he told the front office there, he said, "This is your quarterback of the future. This is your guy." And Drew Brees bowed out and moved along and made a hell of a career for himself.
Yeah. And you know who he is? Who's his mentor? They like he loves to death is
Bubby Brister.
Flutie.
Doug, he was there with him, yeah.
And if you think,
that was my guess too.
Doug Flutie, and they were like best friends.
Yeah.
He credits Doug Flutie, and I wouldn't be surprised if Doug Flutie ends up inducting him into the Hall of Fame someday.
Being his presenter?
Absolutely. And I love that because Doug Flutie played with that little bit of that passion that you just can't coach. And for a guy that was undersized, just like Drew Brees is, how to get by and succeed being that short. And
Boston College boy, Doug Flutie.
Last successful drop kick.
I saw that video the other day. That was wild. So
that tells you how long Breeze has been around too. That
he worked with Doug Flutie.
If Phillip Rivers' his entire career plus like 3-4,
plus 4.
Well,
Phillip Rivers' career plus 4.
Wasn't he
8 kids later plus 4?
Wasn't he drafted with
Bronco Niggers?
Rivers was drafted with LaDainian, wasn't he?
Wow, no, I don't know. Still,
all right.
Stat boy.
Research department will be right with you on that.
Yeah.
Unless Dave beats you to it. Dave's probably frantically searching right now.
Dave probably knows it.
I know, right?
Dave had like tissues for his tears and for his clean up.
Man, too. Gaff touched on it earlier. I think this is a big week. This is week 5, so you have all the guys coming off 4-game suspensions this week too.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch.
The PED suspended guys are back. Julian Edelman's back. That's huge weapon for Tom Brady with the one he just got to, and Josh Gordon. Mark Ingram's back. The two-headed monster's back in New Orleans. It's there's a lot of teams that just got better. But
that Ingram pick could be huge. I mean, that guy's a monster, and now he's like fresh legs. People are still trying to figure out how to deal with Kamara.
Yeah.
And now you bring back, Ingram, who's just a truck.
2001, he was the second quarterback drafted. Michael Vick was the first.
Wow.
Yeah. Manning? Who you
That's
talking?
Drew Brees.
Drew Brees.
Yeah.
Manning and Rivers were the
Drew Brees was
what?
I think he was the first pick in the second round that year, first or second pick in round 2 when Brees was drafted out of Purdue. Purdue Boilermakers.
Boilermakers, yeah.
2001 as well. So, yeah, they were the same draft. Yeah.
Nice.
That's a pretty...
So that was the Michael Vick draft, and then Tomlinson went, 4th or something like that, and then they ended up... Because they had the top pick that year, didn't they? Isn't that how that worked?
They did, and that's when they picked Eli.
No, that was
a different draft.
2 years,
maybe I'm thinking
4 years later.
Maybe I'm thinking of that year. But, they ended up getting Brees and Tomlinson in the same draft then.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's insane. So...
That's a wow. That is a great draft.
Right. Wow.
Might go down in history.
But then LaDainian's been out of the league how many years? Right, and he's a Hall of Famer, and
first ballot.
And Brees is still playing.
He's still doing it, and that's why I say too. I think Drew Brees' time is limited. Damn, he's still doing it on a high level.
And then when you bring those,
he's still got a couple of years.
Yeah.
At least.
And you get those beasts running the ball that extends his life long.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Michael
big.
Thomas there to throw to.
And I think too, it says someone like Drew Brees and the success that he's had says something about a Sean Payton who's been there so long.
Mm-hmm.
It's that one voice. It's the right voice that they found there. It's a winning voice. I mean, just look at what they did when Sean Payton wasn't on the bench for the 1 year.
Yep.
After Bountygate, they fell apart. So. I think it says it speaks to what these guys bring to their team, and I think we all know that. But I think it's just important to emphasize what coaching and what good leadership means. So, but yeah, that's my gripe. I'm excited for Julian Edelman to come back. He's on my fantasy team for the 4th straight year. All right, so I think Edelman's going to go off. I think he's going to go crazy. So
he's going to get hurt.
I hope not, man. He does that. That guy's just too good. He's so good, and Tom Brady makes him so fucking good too. And Tom Brady's so good. So
somebody wants to suck Tom Brady's dick.
I love Tom Brady. TB12. Give me TB12 all day long. I love Tom Brady. So, and I'm a Jets fan.
How can you love Tom Brady
because he's just so damn good. That's why.
That's like me saying I love Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, that's why.
Although I did love.
What'd you just say? What'd you just say, Sal?
Quick, eat some apple crisp. Get that taste out of your mouth.
I said that out loud.
Love and Rodgers, same sentence.
See, I really loved Brett Favre. I loved the way he played.
You gonna let him say that?
Even against the Bears, And that's the thing, like I said this before, like where Aaron Rodgers, you brought up Aaron Rodgers, like Aaron Rodgers continues that Bears rivalry because I hate Aaron Rodgers. He hates the Bears. The Bears fans hate Aaron Rodgers.
And he just taunts.
Whereas like Brett Favre was such a great quarterback, but he was like like a childlike mentality out there that you couldn't help root for him.
Yeah.
And you wish he was on your team. Like, I would take Brett Favre on my team any fucking day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I mean, I would take Aaron Rodgers too, but I fucking want to kick him in the dick more.
With your face.
Yeah.
No. He didn't argue.
No. Yeah. No. Yes. No. Maybe you want to do a little.
What do you do with them? Motorboat? You play the motorboat?
Oh God. Oh God.
But like, I think Aaron Rodgers accentuates that rivalry because like I just want to beat the piss out of him every time I see him. I hate him so much. But like with Favre, I liked him. So like I think you kind of need that for those rivalries.
Yeah. I always hated Brady like when I was younger and stuff like that, but I've grown to just I love the guy. I think he's great. So, another point too I want to bring up, and I want to get your guys' opinion on this, being former coaches and playing football at a pretty high level. What do you guys think about this whole body weight situation, sacking the quarterback thing? The Clay Matthews, we'll call it the Clay Matthews effect here,
which I'm calling Clay Matthews is done at the end of this year. By the way, he's retiring.
You think?
I think he realizes the game has passed him on, and because of rules like that and getting hit for the way he's played football for his whole life.
Yeah.
And now you're changing the game so much. Now the passion's going to be gone. And
Interesting take.
I don't think he can adapt. I think he's going to be like, "Fuck it, I'm out of here."
Yeah.
He's how many years in now? I mean, he's probably 15 years in almost.
He's had a long career.
Yeah. And I think after this year he's going to be up. I'm done. But I don't like it because you're taking the intensity out of the game. Mm-hmm. These guys are coming in full force. I mean, how many times we see Lawrence Taylor just pick up a guy and drill him to the ground? Mm-hmm. Or, and these quarterbacks, they're not small. They're like 6'6", 235 pounds. I mean, you look at Ben Roethlisberger, I mean, he's 300 pounds?
Leads the league in passing.
And like, how are you going to not tackle this guy? You got to actually pick him up and slam him to the ground. You have to. Now, there are certain times, like, I don't think they should actually, like, slam him to the ground.
Sure.
But, like, you got to use your body weight to get some of these guys to the ground. Like, how are you going to get Ben Roethlisberger, Cam Newton, to the ground unless you put your body weight into it?
When you got a huge, think about how even hard it is to stop the momentum of even a little kid running across the playground and like he just tries to throw on the brakes and just stop. They're all over the place. I just think you're talking about grown men in the NFL. What do you expect them to do? How do you expect them to just stop?
Man naked?
Yeah. How do you expect them? How do you just expect them to be like halfway through a hit, like Clay Matthews, be like, "Oh, let me put my hand underneath the head of the quarterback and just lay him to the ground." Like I saw there was actually a great video.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, there's a video online of somebody doing that, and
picked up the quarterback, and it was a girl too, and very gently set her down and put a pillow under her.
Yeah, put a pillow on her head. But how do you expect someone to do that?
Force-fed her pepperoni.
Now, if you pick him up and you slam him on the ground, penalty. Like if it's an extreme case, but you can't do it for every little time. Okay, so his shoulder came down on him. These guys are fucking huge.
Yeah,
you can't hit him too low. You can't hit him too high. You can't get him around the waist. It's like, where are you supposed to hit a quarterback? How are you supposed to get him down?
The answer is yes.
That's no one knows. It's just like a catch too. And how are we allowing?
I like that they changed the catch rule.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. There's a lot less fucking instant replays now, and shit that I would fucking constantly question. Now it's just, that's a catch. I don't even fucking worry about it now. That's a catch.
I give the NFL a lot of credit this year too. And I think the new referees, if you guys have kind of been taking note, the new referees that you haven't seen a lot of, remember we used to have the hockey leagues of the world and that kind of group. The referees, you turn on the TV and you're like, okay, I know that guy. And now it's this young. This year was kind of a heavy swing of new officials in the NFL had referees, and I think they've done a great job. I think they really have done an awesome
way
job.
Better last year so far,
and it seems like they've learned the rule. They learned the rules, and they're enforcing them by how they're dictated. Not okay. Well, let's get together and we'll try to throw shit at a wall and see what sticks, and we'll make that call.
We haven't been getting killed with penalties. Penalties haven't slowed down the game that bad. Only on a couple occasions where the roughing the passer has come at the incorrect time.
Yeah.
They really haven't changed the outcomes of games.
I've also noticed a lot less. Exactly, the outcome of the game is the important term. That's really something that's lost on a lot of people. I've also noticed a lot better calls made against pass interference. Not so much they're looking at the play, and it's just not immediately if the guy gets pushed a little bit or touched a little bit, it's automatically done. Because pass interference, if you're playing the ball, it's a different story. There's a lot of the problems lie in the guys just aren't playing the ball, and they're trying to play the man. But I think that's really started to come in full swing this year, and I've really started to notice a change in that rule this year, and them enforcing that rule correctly this year, which is, I think, and we sat here and bitched about it last year quite a bit. I think we're seeing a different change in the NFL, and I think it's been a good one this year as opposed to our bitching last year, which was bad changes. So,
and I actually did learn a couple of things this week that, in regards to rules, thanks to the Vikings-Rams games, there's no pass interference on fake punts. You could literally, a guy comes off the line to receive the fucking fake punt pass, and you could just fucking punch him right in the face.
A la the San Fran Giants game many years ago when T.O. and the crew, back in the years when they played with T.O., and the Giants went for a fake pass, and fake punt, or a fake field goal, and passed it, and the guy jolted him down by his...
Yep, totally illegal. Totally illegal.
Yep.
Yeah, I barely got that out. And then the other one was, you know how normally at the last 2 minutes of a game, if somebody fumbles, only they can recover it?
Yeah.
Well, that's also true for fourth downs.
Yes, yeah.
I did not know
I did not know that either.
Yeah, see?
Recover it and advance it. Because that happened to Zeke. It happened to Zeke this weekend. The ball was on the 2, and he tried to run it in, and he fumbled.
Yeah,
he fumbled, the guy picked it up, and he was like...
Advance.
This white guy was like, oh my God, it's my first time ever on an NFL field. Look, the ball, touchdown, score. And... yeah, it couldn't be advanced. So.
Yeah, I
think that's a terrible move. I don't like that.
I'm okay with it. The reason they came up with it in the 2-minute warning because they didn't want a team just basically trying to
purposely fumbling it down the field. Yeah. Instead you see those ridiculous lateral plays at the end of games sometimes. Yeah. Imagine how bad those would be if you allowed somebody to just fumble it forward and have somebody
like a Charlie Chaplin lost his hat kind of fucking thing.
Stumbled and fumbled the ball 20 yards up to an open guy upfield, and he picked it up off the ground and ran it in for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Huh. I didn't really give much thought to the rule. I just knew it was a rule, and I just kind of been going with it. But I mean, that's a good point. I never really thought about it that way. Just toss it underhand up the field.
Much, I mean, yeah, it does kind of suck when it's a legitimate case of it, like you said with Zeke or something. But that just opens up so much gray area for some ridiculous, shady stuff.
Right.
Like
well, it just shows you how much that doesn't happen. I mean, the fact that it's been a long time since it's happened between on fourth down at the end of the game, fine, but no fumbles on fourth down, huh?
That's a weird one. Like, I don't understand what the point.
Just to prevent that exact thing.
Yeah.
That they could fumble it all the way down to a first down.
Pretty much.
We send a receiver on a 9 all the way out, and then we accidentally fumble it 15 yards that way.
The running back takes it and basically like bowls it down the field.
Yeah.
Starts to become a play. Like a big ran.
Oh, here comes the old bowlaroo.
They're practicing it.
I know, right?
Oh man,
that's the next trick play in the Super Bowl.
Right.
The Philly special is old news.
The Philly special.
The bowlaroo is the
future. Eat some more apple crisp, Phil. Should we pick some games?
It is that time.
Let's pick some games.
So last week our guest Shaq won with a record of 9-6, and Chicken tied him.
Hot lunch.
Yeah, baby.
Eat the sandwich.
Still about 30 games back.
Caleb and I were 2 games down. Both came in at 7 and 8. So Caleb still has a 2-game lead on me, and I think I'm like
hey John, sweet hat.
I think I got a 3-game lead on Chicken. So
yeah, you're never going to touch us.
I guess I got some catching up to do, huh?
Yeah.
If I could make up ground here.
Basement. All right.
Let's break out the sheets.
We were talking about how good the Thursday Night Football's been this year until tonight.
Which is weird because, 5-6 years ago, this would have been a marquee game.
God, this is the AFC Championship game of for 5 straight years. This was the AFC Championship game.
This is like the Manning and Brady Bowl.
Yeah. Oh man. So Indianapolis
Those are big games.
10-point underdogs is going to go into Foxborough tonight.
Patriots.
Play New England.
Andrew Luck is Patriots. But they got no Patriots.
I don't think T.Y. Hilton is playing tonight.
He is not.
He is not playing
been
tonight.
ruled out.
Come on. Do they have other receivers there?
Jack Doyle is also out.
Other than
Jack Doyle's out too.
Marlon Mack is out again.
So I know you do a
Adam
great job with these
Vinatieri
sheets, but I hate to
is
be
questionable.
this guy.
what I spell?
No, you didn't do anything wrong, but I would just love to see down knowing that information. This line's got to be like 17 at this point.
I'll be honest with you. I printed these sheets out yesterday because I knew I was going to have a busy day today.
Yeah.
And I checked today, and some of the lines are way off already. I'm like, fuck.
Well, even this one's got to be through the roof now with Jack Doyle, Mack, Hilton, Vinatieri's questionable.
Vinatieri's questionable with a groin injury.
I can't even bring up the argument. Oh,
They're
what
missing
about
3 defensive backs too?
Yeah.
3 members of their defensive secondary are not going to play tonight. It's going to be bad.
Is anybody out there in Vegas could get some? We'll send you money. We'll send money.
And the way the Indy O-line played last week against the Texans, I mean, J.J. Watt just had a fiesta.
Andrew Luck.
Fiesta.
Andrew Luck is going. Andrew Luck too. By the way, for 2 straight weeks, I've seen him do the double fist pound on the turf. So that's when you know it's bad. The little almost like crybaby double fist pound.
I can't even come in with the argument. Well, the Patriots secondary versus Andrew Luck. No, it's just this is going to be really bad.
Yeah, it's going to be really ugly tonight.
Yeah,
I don't think that there's even. I don't think the Colts have a chance.
7 players ruled out for Indy.
Oh yeah, they're just resting their guys on this one. This is like a bye week.
Well, yeah, they got to rest up for the playoffs. So
this is just like an exhibition game. We're not going to get crushed, so we're going to play some of our other guys.
That's a team. Indy's a team, just a stagnant team. They're becoming for me. They're becoming like the Baltimore Ravens of the world. Stagnant.
They come out and they beat Washington. That just blew me away that they went down to Washington and did that.
Yeah.
They embarrassed them.
Well, here's the thing.
And then the past couple of weeks,
they got a new coach. First time coach.
Who was their second option?
Right? But they're just getting Andrew Luck back after 2 years, 2 seasons. He's been out. So you got to readjust to the new quarterback. You got to readjust to a new coach, new system.
Sure.
He's got to get the players in that he wants to be in there.
Yeah.
Because,
that didn't happen this offseason.
He inherited a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, now he's got to go and get the players that he wants to run his scheme. Mm-hmm. He doesn't even know if his coaches there are the right coaches that he wants.
Yeah.
So, I think, we got to give him a little bit of a chance. Now he's got his franchise quarterback back, and that gets off his plate. He might want to look into a replacement soon, because if he gets hurt again, who do you got? I mean, Jacoby Brissett, he's not bad. He's not terrible.
He's not the answer.
He's not your answer.
Problems.
Absolutely. Yeah. But you definitely need more talent. I mean, T.Y. Hilton should be not the only option you have. Who's carrying the ball for him now? Who's running the ball for him?
Yeah,
exactly.
It's Mac or Mincy or something.
Edrin James.
Edrin James' son.
Edrin James Jr.
Brandon Jacobs. No, it doesn't matter because I don't think it's a guy that's going to be there in a few years. He's gone. I don't know. Like you said, this is just such a dumpster fire in Indianapolis, and it's going to take a few years to get it ironed out. And you have to figure out if Andrew Luck is the guy that you want to get it ironed out with. So it's going to be a long, long, cold road for any Indianapolis Colts fans out there. And I think that the Patriots win tonight. By the way,
I can't believe I'm actually reading this. The Colts have the 24th ranked offense, and the Patriots have the 23rd.
Really?
That's fucking bad.
Yeah.
19th defense for the Colts, 11th for the Patriots.
That changes tonight.
We're gonna pad some Patriots.
They'll be up to like 10 by the end of the night. Yeah. They'll be like the 10 the best offense. The Patriots did sputter in a few games. They were really bad against Detroit.
Yeah.
So you don't know what Patriots team are going to give a bad. Julian Edelman's bad. Like in this game, the Patriots have only added and gotten better, and the Colts, with what we've seen, I've only got.
Oh, the rushing game for the Pats is 12th. So they're up there. So I expect them to run the ball.
Yeah,
really
we
well.
spent way too much time on this game when we're all like,
we're trying to make more of it than it is. We really are.
Patriots.
All right, let's get it. And just like this game, Cleveland Brown versus the Baltimore Ravens, like their former selves.
This is going to be, I think, one. Closer than
in Cleveland.
It's in Cleveland. That's why. And the fact that the Ravens are still favored. I was again, the fucking Browns had every opportunity last week.
That's where they're a sucker's bet. Like they're so tight and like, man, they almost beat this team. They almost beat that team and
they tied.
And then they're like so close. They definitely could beat these guys. And then you're like, yeah, I don't know.
I don't feel they're beating Baltimore.
3 points.
But there's Baker.
3 points. I'm going to take Cleveland.
He's on the cusp of greatness.
He's
I know, he keeps them in games. I know. And their defense is phenomenal. I'm going out on a limb. No, not even a limb. It's the truth. Their defense is phenomenal.
Yeah, they're very good.
First in takeaways, I believe.
Yeah.
So
I like Cleveland. I like Baker Mayfield. I like what they've done so far, and I think this is going to be a good game.
It's going to be a great game. I wish that was our Thursday fucking night game.
Yeah, that'd be a great Thursday night game.
Yeah.
Hey, Dave, stop talking about predictive text in instant messaging, and let us know who you think is going to win the Cleveland Browns and Baltimore Ravens game this week.
Oh, he's going to go with the Browns.
I don't know.
Or does he want to lose all these games just because he wants?
Well, you picked Tampa Bay last week against your team, so
I did not. Silbert did.
No, he picked Arizona a couple of weeks back
by accident. I picked the Bears on air and accidentally circled the wrong one. Like, you motherfucker! You know who I was going with that.
You like that one? Huh,
I got Baltimore.
Baltimore. I'm going Cleveland.
I'm going Baltimore.
Okay.
Cleveland's burned me one too many times.
Here's where I gain a game on the kids.
This next game. Wait, Gaff, who are you going with there?
Baltimore.
So,
I mean, really, Baltimore's a strong team. They're good offense. They're the number 3 defense or something like that. They're
and Flacco's like, you never know which Flacco you're going to get. But Flacco can.
No, I think you do. You know you're going to get the boring dull Joe Flacco that drops, just dumps the ball.
Then you get like those.
Even good Joe Flacco is very boring.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. Back in the day when he had like guys like Torrey Smith, Yanquan Bolden, I mean, he threw the ball downfield a lot. I mean, the guy's got a big arm, and he could definitely get it down the field.
Yeah.
So it's 2 good defenses versus 2. I mean, Cleveland poor to mediocre, whereas Baltimore's a mediocre. Mm-hmm. So that's what it comes down to. To me, that's why it's a 3-point game. I easily see it being a 3-point game.
Sure.
So
Cleveland.
Yeah, so I'm going to go Baltimore in this one. This next game, though, Kansas City Chiefs versus Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oof.
That's a great matchup.
Wow.
That's a really top offense and top defense facing each other.
Such an underrated defense, I think, in Jacksonville. I don't think they get enough love.
I
don't think they get
Denver exposed. They really shut down Kansas City first half last week.
Yeah, they did.
First half they did. How about the Mahomes left-handed
Let's see.
throw?
Mahomes
Did you see the Mahomes left-handed throw?
Just to make that play, just to think about that play and make
Mahomes,
that play.
And that was with Von Miller chasing him.
Yeah, Von Miller, not chasing him, about to kill him.
Yeah, about to kill him. Yeah.
About to get a penalty for
Von
killing
Miller
him.
Von Miller had already chased him.
Yeah, Von Miller already broke his collarbone by slamming him to the ground.
You know where I'm looking for a big game in this is Kelsey. I think Kelsey's going to have a big game because everyone's going to be focused on Ramsey.
He had a really quiet first half last week, and he came up pretty big in the second half against Denver.
I think there's opportunities against those linebackers with Kelsey versus like those corners. I think the corners are going to be locked down on those wide receivers. Mm-hmm. So I think Kelsey's going to be right up the middle. He's going to be a huge factor in this game.
Yeah, This is tough.
Yeah. It is. It's a hard game to
probably
pick.
the game of the week right here.
Yeah.
I wrote down one team. I got my pick sheet over here. I wrote down one, crossed it off, wrote down another. It's like,
and this this is another game too. Like going back to, I've bitched about this for the last 2 weeks, but like, I know you don't know. you have to have a sense if you're the NFL on what the fuck you're scheduling on Sunday and Monday nights, these games, right? You have to have a sense at the beginning of the year.
You're saying this should have been a
yeah, this should be.
Why the fuck are we getting the Dallas Cowboys versus fucking Houston on Sunday night when we should be getting this fucking game?
Yeah, and this is this is not something I'm
Dallas game is in prime time.
Yeah.
Oh fuck!
But this isn't like a surprise. Like this isn't like these like you kind of knew Dallas was slipping a little bit. If you're the league scheduling office, you have to look at things like this. You have to look at, and I understand that
two teams that made the playoffs last year versus
Battle of
fucking
Texas, but like at the
two
same
teams
time,
that didn't.
I mean, why are the Redskins playing on Monday Night Football against the Saints? They're going to get their ass beat. It doesn't like these are the games that you want to put in prime time, and you can.
You remember the Washington Saints game last year? That came down to the fucking wire, and the Saints won.
Well, fuck that. Bury it.
It was a good game, is what I'm getting.
Sure, of course, but put it at 1:00 on Sunday.
Okay,
and bury it behind the other 7 games. And when I put Red Zone on, it'll tick through, and I'll see. Oh, all right. Drew Brees just passed the touchdown record. Okay, move on. And okay, yeah, it's going to be cool for him to do that on Monday Night Football, break that record and stuff. But man, we're like this is a phenomenal game. Like you said, it's 2 playoff teams.
This is the game that you want national attention on.
Yeah, I don't understand why they don't.
Small market teams.
Who fucking cares? It's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's small market teams. They weren't expected Kansas City to blow up like it did with Mahomes. I mean, nobody knew Mahomes was going to come out and play the way he did.
Caleb did.
But I'm saying. For them market, but like, you're right though, they were both playoff teams. It's definitely the most attractive game on the list.
Yeah.
And
or you know what chicken too, you make a good point looking at the other games on the list too. I mean, not for nothing, if you want a good night game, let's talk about Pittsburgh and Atlanta Pittsburgh,
right?
Like that's a fucking good game.
Yes.
Or the Eagles and the Vikings.
Yeah, how about the Eagles and Vikings?
A playoff rematch,
NFC Championship rematch.
No, we're gonna watch Sunday night. We're gonna watch Houston, the Battle of Texas, Houston and Dallas, like
1 and 2 versus 1 and 3 versus 2 and 2,
and none
whoopity fucking do.
And you knew it was coming.
And none of those primetime games are like divisional games. You know what I mean? They're not anything like worth anything. Like in your own division. I can see if they're like divisional battles. Like, okay, so you got Rams and Seahawks. At least you know they're playing the same division. They're going to play each other hard.
Another great point. I hadn't even gotten that far down on the list. Yeah.
And then you got the storyline with
Sherman,
Russell Wilson,
or not Russell. I'm sorry,
Russell Wilson,
Sherman.
and then Goff playing against each other. Blah blah blah. Like you could really build that. Where they pick these games from, I get it. Like New England and Indy, they're like, well, they used to be the battle of Manning and Brady, but it ain't like that anymore. Nobody gives a shit.
And I think that's I'm okay. I'm not totally pissed off about the Colts and Patriots game tonight, because it's not as storied as like Monday Night Football or Sunday.
Thursday night is different. There's very low expectations.
Thursday night's like a cool cousin.
Yeah.
But you see like twice a year at the family reunion, you get fucked up with each other.
Yeah, you hang out, you steal some family beers.
Exactly. You get fucked up on a Thursday night. You watch the Thursday night game. Friday sucks at work. It's the Utica special. That is the Utica special. People get fucked up on Thursdays.
With this game, like the way this matches up,
the cousin you shouldn't be hanging out with.
Right, yeah.
From the touchy uncle?
He brings you to the touchy uncle.
That's London games.
Getting back to this game.
Hot lunch. Yeah, we got to get back to this game. This is a good game.
Where Kansas City excels on offense, where they number 1 points scored, and then in yards as well. And Jacksonville is like number 1 in those categories in defense.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be really interesting to see. Like,
it'll be a good matchup.
And then is Jacksonville offense that much better than Kansas City's defense? Kansas City's defense is not that great.
Yeah, not that good. No.
And Kansas City's offense, Fournette's out again this week.
Really?
Yeah.
He's back out again. Yeah, because he played last week, but then he got hurt again, right?
Yeah, he got hurt in the game or had a setback. And he might be out for a couple more weeks.
So that's
tough.
Talented. It's like
Yeldon's not bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah.
Good point.
Jacksonville offense doesn't really scare you that much. So I don't know. It's like the batter of the mediocre offense,
right? Yeah. Well, go back to Tampa Bay versus Oakland Super Bowl. Number 1 defense versus number 1 offense. Who won the game? That's where the defense won the game. Right. He had a serviceable quarterback. Trent Dilfer. By the way, Trent Dilfer has more Super Bowl rings than Jim Kelly.
No. No, it wasn't.
It had to go there, didn't
it? It was
you?
Brad Johnson.
Oh yeah, it was
Tampa Bay.
Right, that's right. Trent Dilfer was with Baltimore.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, you know, so sorry. Yeah. Again, you know, Baltimore. Well, Giants wasn't the number one offense at the time. So
I'm going Kansas.
But
fuck it.
On that, I'm going to stick with defense wins this game.
Going
Jacksonville.
Okay. All right.
Going away from the home team.
Did you say you're going Kansas City, Caleb?
Yeah, I'm going to go Kansas City. I just don't. I don't know if the cast characters in Jacksonville can get it done.
It's going to be a good game.
I think you know where I think this game's going to be won is I think you mentioned the TJ Yeldon is going to be a huge factor in this game. I think Kareem Hunt's going to be a huge factor in this game, and I hope Travis Kelce gets going for the sake.
Kareem Hunt was awesome against that Denver defense.
Jacksonville's D-line gets in and takes out Mahomes.
Oh, yeah. Well, and it's and you're looking to that's a confidence thing too. Pat Mahomes. This could be Pat Mahomes' first real kind of rattling test after last week.
Right,
Mahomes versus Jalen Ramsey and company.
Yeah, that's
so you're rolling.
You know,
with
Ramsey
Mahomes.
hasn't. You haven't really heard much from him.
Well, that's good when you're a corner.
I'm going with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm going Jacksonville this week too. You guys already pretty much said everything I was thinking about this game, but it is especially that offense defense matchup. Kansas City versus Jacksonville is the marquee matchup.
If it wasn't for last week,
this week,
if Denver didn't play the way they did last week, I'd have no problem picking KC. But it looks like they still got that same problem when they face a good defense. They just are an average offense at that point.
I'm gonna go Kansas City.
Okay, so we've got 2-2. 2-2. Okay,
I think Kansas City. You know, like Kelce, I'm looking for a big game from Kelce, and I think once you get in a shootout, that forces kind of it's going to force Jacksonville to kind of like get in a shootout as well.
Mm-hmm.
If they can get a lead, I don't think Jacksonville has the weapons to compete with Kansas City when it comes to offense.
On offense, absolutely not. But on defense, they're the best in the league, or maybe second to the Rams. But
I think they can stick with their running game and short offensive game and just drag it out. The best defense is keeping Kansas City's offense off the fucking field.
Here's a shall we? I agree. Shall we move on to the Tennessee?
It's a good game.
Going to Buffalo. Coming to Buffalo for a trap game.
I think we for a trap game. We make it interesting.
I'll go Tennessee.
Could be a trap game. Could be a trap game.
Tennessee's looking so good right now.
They do look good. Marcus Mariota's got feeling in his hand again, it seems. He's wearing that special glove, too, in his hand now. But I'm telling you, Mike Vrabel has those guys playing hard, playing inspired, and I mean, 3.5 is tough for me. Like
that is weird. What the fuck is going on? Is it, again just trap game? Yeah.
That's the only thing that
there's no way Buffalo matches up with them.
You know what the problem Tennessee has had though over the last few years, and I know this is a new coaching staff and stuff like
Their
that.
Offensive line is a little suspect.
They're not bad though; they're pretty good. But the problem they've had is they're just very inconsistent. They're very bipolar. They'll show up one week and score 45 points, and then next week you'll be like, looking at the bottom line during their football, you're like, wow, Tennessee's down 21-3 in the third quarter. Like, what the fuck happened? They put up 45 last week.
Right.
Like, you never know with this team, but I think we know what we have in Buffalo. So
I just think Tennessee's too tough.
Do we know what we have in
tough
Buffalo?
of a team.
I mean, like 2 weeks ago, they destroyed the Vikings.
That's a great point, Chicken. That's a great point. Maybe we don't.
Where did that come from? Where props to their fucking
You know why that happened is because that's the only game I didn't watch the entire game. I didn't watch the Bills Vikings that week.
You gotta stop watching the games.
I know. I'm gonna have to now.
I didn't watch any of the Syracuse game this week, and then the last part of the fourth quarter.
You watched it.
I was fucking. I was at the.
You were the.
I was picking that.
Now we know what happened.
Right. So then I started listening to it in the car on the way home, and it was just fucking downhill from there. I'm like, why did I even bother? They were winning until I started listening.
You can't change the channel either.
No, I can't. I'm like, no, I'm sticking this fucking thing out.
Bandage just posted about that Jags. He said, I'm pretty sure the Jags offense outscored the Bears offense probably up until maybe this week. But yeah, I would say they definitely Bears offense hasn't done shit.
Yeah. 48 points though is hard to ignore.
So where are you guys on this game? Are you guys?
I'm going
Tennessee, and I'm going to go P.
Okay, I think we're all four Tennessees, right?
Yeah, I think Tennessee shows more promise. Buffalo's still like, who knows what's going on there? I mean, they could get it together and beat Tennessee, and we'd be like, what the hell is going on with Buffalo? They could be that team that gets up for big games and then drops the next.
They have a way of doing that. Just when you think you've figured them out, whether it's for good or for bad, like, oh, they're terrible this year. And then all of a sudden they're up 27-0 at the half against Minnesota. Or, you think maybe they've turned a corner in some of the games over the past few years, and then it's just a complete letdown. You just cannot figure out this team,
right,
even when you think you have. That being said, I really am going with Tennessee.
I don't blame you. And the kind of reminds me of Baltimore Ravens. Like the Ravens will they'll lose to like Cleveland. Let's say they lose to Cleveland, and then they'll bounce back and destroy Green Bay or somebody. And you're like, where did this come from? Like, who are you as a team? Like, they'll drop one that you think that expect them to win, and then beat teams that you expect would destroy them. So I feel like that with Tennessee. There's no way to get a good beat on them.
Yeah,
but in this case, Buffalo Bills are just so bad.
Yeah, very bad.
Carolina Panthers versus New York Giants.
I think this is ridiculous with the Giants going into Carolina. I think I haven't hated the Giants this year, man. I've been kind of impressed with the way they've played at some points. But
really?
I thought they played terrible at other points. 7 points is fucking asinine, if you ask me. I think it's just ridiculous. Carolina's getting 7 points. I don't, like, am I missing something? Like,
no, they're coming off a bye week. I don't know if that's part of it or not. Greg Olsen might actually be back this week, they're saying.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was practicing helmet and pads today, I'm assuming on a very limited basis.
And I believe Eric Reed is playing, right?
I'm not sure about that. I have to look that up. But, yeah, Carolina coming off a bye. Yeah, 7 points. I don't know about that. But we're throwing the spreads out the window for these picks, and I'm going to go Carolina coming off a bye.
Yep, Carolina.
I'm also going Carolina.
They're too strong. Their defense is too strong. Their offense is too strong for the Giants.
Giants have no O-line.
Giants D is okay, but it's not going to save them. It's not going to help them.
Cam Newton was pretty impressive against Atlanta earlier this year too. I was impressed with that. So as much as I don't like the 7 points at all, but I'm going to pick Carolina at home.
I think this should be more like 9.5. Really, it should.
Seriously?
I think it should be higher. I really do.
I think it should be lower.
I think you should be higher.
Oh.
Hang on.
I think Carolina ends up winning by like 3.
Yeah. I don't know.
Really?
I don't know. See, the Giants are another one of those teams that like which Giants team, but they haven't really showed a whole lot.
No, they haven't showed shit all year. I mean, they lost to the fucking Cowboys.
Oh, that's true. Fuck that, Carolina.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Fuck that, Carolina. Thank you, chicken. Oh, yeah, that's right. Fuck that, Carolina.
Bastards.
Alrighty, we'll
wonderful
move on.
insight.
Ooh, look who's coming across the country to play in the Meadowlands.
In Giant Stadium.
By the way, this was a pick'em earlier today. It's started at -1.
Speaking of spreads, how are the Jets -1 in this game?
1 point favorites against the Broncos.
The team that Caleb said they could never win a
Von
game.
Miller is going to have a field day. Von Miller and company. And Sam Darnold. I don't know how the Jets are favored in this game.
I don't either. And I think an important point with the Jets, they've spent a lot of money on Tremaine Johnson this offseason to play cornerback. He was in that with the Rams last year. They spent a fucking shitload of money on him, and he's not played well at all. He's been a penalty machine. I will say that I have been very impressed with the Jets defense. I think they've been playing well.
They've been playing really well.
And I think it's growing pains. I don't think Sam's been too bad. I don't think he's been too great though. But I'm waiting for that, as you said earlier, Chicken. And I think it's an important thing to note. I'm waiting for that breakout game, that welcome to the NFL game from him. And who knows when it could come? I mean, if it came against a good defense this week, then I'll take it. But we just keep going along.
He's having a typical rookie quarterback season. Exactly what I expected to see out of Sam Darnold.
And there's not a huge amount of like talent around him. I mean, there's some guys that are promising, but they're young. They're not. He needs a veteran. Whether it's a running back or a wide receiver or a tight end that like has established themselves in his career. I think
that's something as a Jets fan. The Jets have been missing for a long, long time. It's been a very
leadership
good tight end.
Oh,
it has been a while, yeah.
It's like that's if you look at the big teams, like big name teams. I mean, a lot of big name teams have made names with good tight ends. I think it's an important part of the game, and I think it gives, especially a rookie quarterback, because a tight end's not running a streak route, and you got to try to hit him. He's it's your check down, it's your safety net. And I think that's very important. And I think that's why a Trey Burton pickup was so good for the Bears this year. And I think it's proven that it was a good pickup.
I thought Safarian Jenkins was pretty good for them last year.
And I totally agree. And I was pissed when they let him go. And it was a really weird situation. It was kind of sort of a money thing, but like Safarian Jenkins was like loved being in New York, gave them a lot of credit for reviving his career. So I was very kind of. That was one of the things they did this offseason that I was pissed about. I was really not happy when they made that decision to let him walk. But he's playing pretty well in Jacksonville. So I think that's an important point that the Jets really need. I do know Denver is battling a little bit of the injury bug. They've lost a couple of their. I know they lost their starting tight end actually. Go figure. Demaryius Thomas is only getting older, but Eman Sands has been playing well this year. So I'm going with the Jets.
He's got to be a homer.
They've got some good young running backs there too in Denver with Lindsey and Royce Freeman too.
Yeah,
I know neither one of them is really lighting it up per se, but they're splitting the workload and they're both producing. I'm going with Denver. I'd be shocked.
Sure?
I'd be shocked if the Jets won this one, but crazier things have happened, right?
Yeah,
it's
like the Bills beating Minnesota.
It's at a pick'em now, but Broncos coming off of a heartbreaking loss. They got to travel cross country. West Coast teams never travel well.
Are you going to do it, John Silbreth?
So I actually I wrote it down earlier today.
Wow.
I'm going New York Jets.
Wow.
Sil, my friend. Friend of mine.
They're due.
Yeah, they're due.
Yes.
I was thinking the Jets defense is looking good. They've shown me some things, in the games that I've seen them play. But then I'm like, they lost to the Browns.
Why do you got to make me rethink my pick?
They're like the first team in 2 fucking years to lose to the Browns, for crying out loud.
Right.
Yeah.
And
some mitigating circumstances in that game, okay? Like the future of Cleveland.
I really think the Jets step up this week. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
I like what you were saying with what's his name, Von Miller coming around the edge, like wreaking havoc on a young quarterback, and they're going to send him everything they got because you got to
you can stifle that with dump offs and rollouts to the opposite direction, and he's a young quarterback, so he's fast. There's no reason why they shouldn't do that,
right? But you don't think they're going to disguise blitzes? Like if I were Denver, I would blitz the shit out of him early on. And then
make him timid.
The second half, now all of a sudden you show Von Miller like going back, like
now you
I'm blitzing, then you peel him off.
Now you peel back and go on his own, and
right. And I think this defense has played together at a high level for a long time now.
Yep.
I mean they have some pieces come and go, but I think they know each other well enough and they know the system well enough that they could really fuck with a rookie quarterback.
Weather's not going to play a factor here. They're both pretty much the same environments. Yeah. It's going to be fucking cold. Well, actually. Supposed to be a warm week.
Bye, Erica. She's checking out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going Denver in this game.
2-2.
2-2. All right.
This is where I gained some ground. But here we go. Next one we have Pittsburgh Steelers and Atlanta Falcons. Another two teams that you don't know who you're dealing with.
Right. Exactly. Well, if this were in Atlanta, I'd have no problem picking Atlanta. Are you going back for apple crisp?
Get your dick out of there.
Look what happens after Sel picks the Jets. What's he doing over there?
Atlanta Falcons. Okay, so this game.
Which Steelers? Well, see, we know Atlanta's defense sucks. I mean, there's no fixing it. But their offense fucking scores almost every drive.
And the Steelers are at home.
Right.
So now you got Julio versus Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
Two of the best wide receivers in the game. Matt Ryan versus Roethlisberger, two of the best quarterbacks in the game. Two of the best mid-level.
who gets the ball last? That's what it's going to come down to. That's why it's only a fucking 3-point game.
I hate taking the Falcons because every time you take the Falcons, they always disappoint.
Dude, I'm telling you, don't be afraid to do it because I'll tell you who the X factor is right now, and it's Calvin Ridley.
Mm-hmm.
He is playing out of his
that is a good point.
mind.
Great point.
Insane.
And it's the biggest mistake I made was getting. But then after week one, I kicked him off. I got him off the fantasy team for some fucking bum, and he has just been going off because
you're retarded.
Exactly the point. Exactly the point you made, Chicken, is because Julio's there, and when you have a number one, a first round pick in Calvin Ridley, who's obviously a talented player, and Julio's on the other side, well, you're probably looking at Julio first.
Julio leads the league in wide receiving yards.
Here I go. I'm going. If I'm Calvin Ridley, see ya.
Yeah, but the same argument can be made for the Steelers. They got Antonio Brown, and then you got Juju.
Yeah, Juju's having a great year. You can say the same thing about Juju, and he's got even one more year under his.
And he's a man.
belt.
Like he's a guy that's going to lay somebody out. You know what I mean? Like that's what I like about him. He brings on that Heinz
He's
Ward.
still only 21 years old, too. Juju Smith-Schuster, after
Young,
full
big,
NFL
strapping young man.
I know you started drooling when you said that.
You dropped Calvin Ridley for Sam Darnold, didn't you?
I think it was like James White.
He picked up Robbie Danger, and not the wide receiver. I'm sorry, Robbie Anderson, which is his.
I was going to say Robbie
Danger.
I was going to say Robbie's got to be.
Robbie Danger's real name is Robbie Anderson, so
he's got to be a tight end.
Danger's his middle name.
He's a wide receiver. So, who are you guys going with in this game?
I just circled it. I'm going Atlanta.
Ooh. Atlanta on the road. I have not been impressed, and I think he's come back down to earth, and I think they're using him in a little different ways with Connor, the running back in Pittsburgh. I've kind of been a little bit disappointed with the way he's playing, and I like the way Atlanta's offense is just fucking good, man. They're awesome. So,
dude,
I'm going Atlanta.
Really?
I'm going Atlanta.
Your fucking ass stinks, dude.
I didn't fart again.
It was somebody else did.
No, not me.
No,
it was definitely not me.
Of note, too, Devontae Freeman is expected to play this week, too, for Atlanta after missing a few games.
That's a good point, too.
I'm going to go Pittsburgh, though. Going Pittsburgh Steelers.
At home.
This might be one of those, AFC, NFC team coming in, and it could be like fucking Pittsburgh 40 and Atlanta 3. I mean, you've seen weirder shit, but
it's a tough game.
I think I think they're going to score at will, both teams. It's just going to come down to who's got the ball last.
So who are you picking?
I picked Atlanta.
Okay, this is the thing I hate. I hate going with Atlanta. I'm like, every time I go with Atlanta, they lose. And every time I go against the Steelers, they win.
You pick the Steelers, please.
And so I'm sitting there, I'm like, who do I want?
So I feel better.
I'm going to Atlanta.
Fuck.
I'm going to Atlanta. So I'm probably going to lose.
So I'm the only one going Pittsburgh?
I think so.
Correct. Fuck.
All right.
Next one, we have the Detroit Lions and Green Bay Packers. So the Green Bay is going to the Lions at home.
The Lions suck. How do you do that to the Patriots? I mean, obviously it's because, Patricia coached against McDaniels in practice and he knew what he would call in certain situations and blah, blah, blah. So he had the advantage there. Okay. But to just go out and just fucking just look gross against Dallas, it was close, but the fact that it was close makes it even worse.
Yeah.
Because Dallas is bad.
Yeah.
Their O-line, Detroit's O-line sucks ass. They made fucking Dallas's defensive front look phenomenal.
Who on Green Bay scares you on the defense? I know
what the Packers D-line can do against a bad O-line, i.e. the Buffalo Bills.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So right there that says that to me that the Packers D-line is going to have a field day.
An important thing to remember about this, though, and yes, Aaron Rodgers is under center, but an important thing to remember is Devontae Adams and Randall Cobb both did not practice.
Their top 3 wide receivers are out.
Yeah, Geronimo Allison's out, too.
Yeah, Geronimo Allison has a concussion. Devontae Adams got injured in practice yesterday, I think, and Cobb's been out for a couple weeks.
I am pretty sure they could put a guy in a wheelchair and a guy with a scepter at slot.
Scepter? Where the fuck did you get a scepter from?
And they would be just fine.
That being said, it's a divisional game. It's in Detroit. I'm going with the Lions.
I'm going Green Bay.
I'm going with the Lions. I think the Lions, they're going to be the bipolar team this year. They're going to play really well some games, really bad some games, and I think this is a really good game for them. So
it is divisional. Yeah. No, it's a home game against a division rival.
Yeah.
It could happen.
Gaff?
Green Bay.
I'm going Lions.
Oh man,
I'm going to go Lions.
You don't even want to.
I don't. Right? I don't want to go with either one of these guys, but I hate the Lions a little less than I hate Green Bay. But also, I think like with Green Bay, like I said it the last week, Green Bay hasn't shown me that dominant style of play that we're used to seeing Green Bay play with.
Right.
Now you take away his top 3 targets. I mean, granted, Jimmy Graham's going to be there, so you expect him to have a huge game.
Yeah, and Ty Montgomery's a decent weapon there too. But you're right. If Adams doesn't play and it doesn't look like Cobb will play, and if Allison can't be cleared, that's a pretty serious hit right there.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And if they can get to Rodgers and get him scrambling, because now he's got to wait for guys to get open. He doesn't have that chemistry with a lot of these guys. So I think that's going to be a big factor. They haven't really wowed me yet this year, Green Bay. Like I said, they tied one game, barely beat the Bears, got their ass kicked another game, and then they came back against the Bills. I mean, we only see them against the Bills, and I'll tell you what, Detroit's better than the Bills.
Yeah. I'm going to Detroit. The Miami Dolphins go into Cincinnati, Ohio to play the Bengals this weekend in the game of who gives a fuck.
The who gives a fuck of the week.
Yeah. Oh my God. 6.5. Bengals are giving a 6.5.
Yeah, but Miami's what, 3-1?
Yeah, and
they both are 3-1.
Have you seen who they played though?
They ran into that one.
They played some bad teams. To
Miami beat New England.
They didn't beat New England.
No, they didn't.
Oh no, they
just lost 38 to fucking 7 or something like that.
I'm making shit up.
I'm making shit up.
They beat Tennessee.
We're such a reliable news source.
Tennessee was the best team that they've beaten.
And Cincinnati's just been.
You did make me think about
well, that was because I know, right?
Yeah.
But Mariota.
I was like, wait, did I miss something?
Mariota was not
Played
in that
twice
game. All right,
True. Yeah, that was a Blaine Gabbert game.
The Blaine Gabbert show, and I think that game was still tight. I think
It was.
still close.
Yeah.
That was the game. That was the game that lasted like 7 hours. wasn't it?
That was a 7-hour game. Yay, we figured it out. Great.
Miami's got endurance.
Yeah, Cincinnati. I mean, Cincinnati's
Delaney Walker gets hurt after 6.5 hours.
Yeah. I mean, Cincinnati's been playing well this year too. Just that really don't hear much about him. But Gio Bernard kind of has revived his career there. He's played well. Mixon is there, and
I thought Mixon got hurt.
No, he's back.
I think he may play
back
this week.
Yeah,
he might play this week. If not, he's almost guaranteed to go in week 6. But he's close. And Gio's good anyways, whether Mixon plays or not.
Gio's played really well this year, and it kind of, I think it was, hey, Jeremy Hill's gone. Oh wait, look, we brought Joe Mixon, and now I think him and Joe Mixon are a little bit better of a fit, complementary to each other. So. I think we're watching the start of Miami. Oh, we went 3-0, and
yeah, and
this is the.
I have their schedule up here.
Is this the Tampa Bay? This is the Florida demise now.
Correct.
Is that where
Miami beat the Titans, the Jets, and the Raiders, and then they lost 38-7 to the Patriots. So yeah, they're 3-1, but
and again, the Titans was the Blaine Gabbert era.
Yeah, I'm going Cincy on this.
Cincy,
especially at home.
Yeah,
Cincy.
Where's Erica now? She just tuned out. She's a big Cincy fan.
Yep.
But now we go with the LA Chargers versus the Oakland Raiders
in the battle of relocating teams.
I was going to say this should be really like 50-50 as far as fans go.
Yeah. Well, if you get a chance, there's a picture of Kansas City celebrating the end zone against.
Yeah. It looks like they're in Arrowhead.
Yeah, it looks like they're in Arrowhead. It's like it's a sea of red.
Oh yeah, when they played San Francisco last week, it was a sea of red. I mean, there's at the 50-yard line, you saw shit. You know, it's like
there's people that I've heard that have said they don't want that team there at all. They have one team now. I mean, the Rams, they've kind of invested,
and it's the same,
especially with what the Rams are doing.
Yeah,
I mean,
the Chargers aren't a bad team.
No,
they're a good team.
I think they.
I can't fucking wait till they make the Super Bowl
just
to shut the fuck up, everybody. Shut everybody the fuck up. Let me switch those words around.
I think they should have just stayed in San Diego. I think this relocation thing is a big distraction, and especially too. I don't think it's easy where they're playing too. This soccer stadium that they're playing in, this 10,000 person soccer stadium. I just don't think it's been really
conducive
for players.
Effort.
Yeah, for players wanting to really, it's a different lifestyle than what you're normally used to.
Right.
And remember years back when the arena here in Utica, the odd Utica have like the Blizzard, and then you'd have like the Bulldog,
the Prowlers,
teams coming in and out,
and it's so hard to rally behind a team, So you're like, oh, now this is your team, so now I got to root for these guys, and they're dog shit and they're terrible. And now we got the Comets back, and they're actually playing really well, and they're competitive.
That's your Rams right there,
right? So
and the Chargers are the Mohawk Valley Prowlers.
Yeah, exactly. So LA, they've had the Raiders, they've had the Rams. That now they're back to now you got the Chargers over there now.
Yeah,
they don't know who to root for, but you're right. They used to root for the Rams years ago, so you get that okay, we're getting the Rams back. But the Chargers never.
There was some nostalgia there.
Right.
There was some nostalgia there.
And when you keep changing teams on them in LA, it's like, well, who do you? In LA's not really a. It's more of like a.
In Raider Nation, they're not going to sway. Even if they go when they go to Vegas, not if, when they go to Vegas, there's still going to be everybody in Oakland or LA that was a Raiders fan is still going to be a Raiders fan when they move.
Right.
Yeah. They're a national fan base.
Right.
Like the Steelers, the Cowboys, or the Bears. They're a national fan base, so it doesn't really matter much where they're playing. But the Chargers are a different story.
That's why I think it was
like
a bad
10 people.
move.
That's all San Diego.
It was a terrible move.
10 people. 10 people cried
there.
in St. Louis when the Rams left. Like nobody gave a fuck about football in St. Louis. Now it's in LA. People are excited about that team because of exactly the nostalgia, what the team that played there before and stuff. So I don't know. It's just it's a tough time to be. Both of these teams, I think, really, because I think the Chargers had high expectations, as you said, Sil, at the beginning of this season, and they haven't played awful.
No,
but they haven't played great.
Nope.
Oakland coming off their first win, right? Last week was their first win.
Yep, against the Browns.
John Gruden's first win in 9 games. So let's all remember that. Oh man, this is a tough one for me, honestly. The Chargers' defense has gotten better.
Is Bosa playing?
Even if Bosa's not playing, it doesn't really. I'm not too emotional about that. It doesn't really.
You got that, Sean? I had to close my window.
Yeah,
Bosa's a beast.
I'm going Chargers. I don't even need to know. I'm going to go Chargers anyways. I think
I'm going Chargers.
I'm going Chargers as well.
Chargers secondary's quietly been really good too,
and they get some secret weapons on that team that don't get a lot of national hype. Mm-hmm. And like Melvin Gordon's a great player. Like
Keenan Allen,
like other guys that aren't big names that you don't hear everybody on.
Yeah, they have some good players. Even Austin Eckler there, the running back, the backup, I guess you'd say, your complimentary running back. He's awesome too.
Yeah.
Looks like Bosa is not playing this week.
Wow.
There's talk that he could be out an extended period of time. I guess that foot is pretty fucked.
They're thinking probably out through their bye week. I'm not sure when their bye week is, but it's not this week, so he's not playing this week.
Something went wrong there too, because there was they were trying to push him to play the first game of the season. So there's got to be an issue somewhere. Mm-hmm. Like it's pretty bad that they're not disclosing probably with that foot. So, or that it needs time. And they
honestly, the later they push him off, give for that playoff run, or
yeah, bring him back, because that with him and Melvin Ingram's another one of the most underrated players in the NFL too. He definitely is. Yeah, Melvin Ingram, like when Khalil Mack was in Oakland, nobody really knew much about him. But I'm telling you, Melvin Ingram's going to have a pretty big coming out party coming here, and I think he's going to be viewed upon as one of the top defensive players.
Well, I think he was last year. Him and Bosa were one hell of a duo last year.
Man. Could you imagine?
They were dynamic.
Yeah.
So now, are we all in
nobody else
we're going
that?
Chargers?
Really?
What? Nobody else got that? Nobody got that?
They're dynamic.
They were quite a duo. I said, yeah, they were dynamic.
Ambiguously gay.
Give him a bell.
No, a dynamic duo. Jesus Christ.
Very quiet bell.
Right.
Yeah. I think he deserves that. I think he deserves that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going with the Chargers.
4 Chargers. Arizona goes into San Francisco in the battle of Josh Allen and C.J. Beathard.
This should be the Thursday.
Beathard's fine. This should be a Thursday game.
Should be the Thursday game.
I would love to watch this game. I would rather watch this game tonight than watch the fucking Colts get their asses.
Me too.
I agree with that. Just because this could be close, but I think San Fran's defense and their offense is pretty good. I think they're fine.
Arizona hasn't showed me anything.
No, San Fran wins this game easily.
Oh, you think easily? Yeah. I don't know about that, Josh.
I do. I don't think 4.5 is enough.
Oh, my God. Wow. I mean, Josh Allen didn't really get me going last week.
You mean Josh Rosen?
Josh Rosen, sorry. God.
He's not the Rosen one?
Josh Rosen. Yeah, you know what? I like C.J. Beathard, too. I'm going to pick him just because I like C.J. Beathard.
He's fine with this offense. He's fine.
Yeah. I'm going with San Fran because I have no faith in Arizona. They haven't showed me a damn thing yet.
Their run game's okay. Pass game's
run game's good because
it has to be.
David Johnson hasn't shown up
right.
this season. He has not shown up.
Right.
And part of the problem is the way they're using him. They're not even passing the ball to David Johnson. He's by far the best player they have on their roster, and they're not utilizing him right. So I almost want to say Arizona because you guys have all gone San Francisco, but I cannot bring myself to do
Arizona,
it.
30 seconds offense.
Haven't said that. Do you think that?
Not surprised.
No.
Do you think Arizona might use this as an opportunity to get David Johnson involved?
I would hope so, especially with the rookie now, with Josh Rosen starting. But
and it's a divisional game, and this division's screwy. This is the division where the shit team at the end will challenge the top team.
We'll fuck with the top team.
Week 16, they beat them.
Yeah.
Fuck with home field advantage.
This division
just to throw a little pea in their Cheerios.
But I got to go
pea in their
San
apple
Fran.
crisp.
So we're all going San Fran?
Yeah.
We're going San Francisco.
Yes. Yep.
Here's an interesting game. Rematch.
No, it's not.
Of the NFC, was it the NFC Championship game? Philadelphia Eagles and the Minnesota Vikings. And both teams have like disappointed, I think, to me.
Oh, Minnesota more. I mean, Philly's got a couple of injuries, so yeah, they've gone a notch down. But
Cousins is overrated.
I'm not putting it all on Cousins, though. I mean, teams are scoring on that defense where last year they were like so stout, and now.
But then they went into the playoffs and were just shitty.
Yep.
I mean, the defense has gone downhill since week 15.
I think
last year.
Philly kind of exposed them a little bit, and now like Delvin Cook, I see he might be hurting.
It's questionable.
Philly, New Orleans. I mean,
and technically New Orleans should have won that game.
Yep.
So, but then like Philly hasn't been. I mean, they lost to Tampa Bay.
Yeah, it's hard to say though because that was with Nick Foles too. They got
Minnesota played really well against the Rams last week. Philly has been. Carson Wentz is just getting back into the groove. I'm going with the home team on this one, so I'm going Eagles.
I'm going Philly too.
Yep, Philly special.
They're still the Super Bowl champs. They still have that chip on their shoulder.
Mm-hmm. I think.
But a 7-9 record isn't far fetched.
I think more better chance 9 and 7.
I know. I'm just going with Gay Robot's prediction.
In Philadelphia Eagles, like you look at the NFC East, who scares you in that division? Who stands out as the best team in that division? And right now, that division looks like one of the worst divisions in football right now because there's no clear.
The AFC East.
Yeah, you still got New England.
Shut up, John.
You still got New England.
So, you're still here. You too. Oh, my bad. My bad.
No,
Sorry,
we know.
But at least, you got a clear-cut competitor. You know what I'm saying? In New England, and then you still got, you get the team to beat. Who's the team to beat in the East? Is it Philly?
It's Philly.
It's Philly.
Has to be.
But I could see Washington walking out of that division.
That would be a big surprise, but it wouldn't be the crazy.
I need to see more from Washington to take that leap, but I could see it. But I
think Washington is the obvious second place pick in that division right now with the Giants in Cowboys.
Is it just our hatred for the Cowboys that refuses to let us see their 2-2 record?
They're terrible.
Is it my blind?
No, they're just not good. There's just not a lot of talent on that team.
One
it
of
really
games
is
is against the Giants.
Yeah, you're right. They beat the Giants and squeaked by the Lions.
Yeah.
Yeah, you okay, John, now? Is that all right?
You get a team that's good against the run, they're done.
All right, so you're making me feel good I didn't pick Pittsburgh. All right. On that same reasoning. All right, because they did tie the fucking Browns.
Okay, so we've got 4 Eagles?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty, let's
I'm
go.
surprised nobody went Minnesota on that one.
The Rams go into Seattle, which again, as we talked about earlier, that NFC West, you never know what's going to happen when you play one of those.
Back when Seattle was awesome, the fucking Legion of Boom and blah blah blah, the Rams would beat them.
Right. Yeah,
the Rams and the Rams were shitty. They were 4-12.
Right,
they weren't the fucking Rams of now.
Yeah. Case Keenum.
Like that scumbag Case Keenum beat them like a couple times.
Right.
Yeah, Jesus. And Nick Foles. Nick Foles would in St. Louis too.
I think they got their number.
Davis.
I don't think Seattle stands a chance. Seattle's not a good team.
I don't think they stand a chance either.
Yeah,
no, the Rams are just nuts, dude.
The Rams, to me, are the clear favorite to win the Super Bowl.
They're almost like video gaming right now. It's stupid. Like they're just that good.
You know what? I'm
Look
going
at the names they have.
I'm going to
on that
back up for a
defense,
second.
too.
I'm going to actually switch my pick to the Vikings.
Oh,
whoa!
Can you do that?
Is that legal? We've never done this before. This has never happened.
I just got to see what is he going to exit out?
Yeah, make sure.
This is
Are you going to say one team and circle another? What are you doing?
This is unprecedented.
I scribbled it. You know why? Because
You just circle them both. When
going back to that Rams game, even though the Rams put up a ton of points on them, Minnesota came back and they went toe to toe with the Rams for a while there.
Right.
And I just don't think Philly's as strong as the Rams. And I think Minnesota being able to put up with the Rams.
That's what was my with that argument. Yes, it's tough to pick Philly. You're right.
Too much deductive reasoning for me. I'm going with the Eagles.
How about it came down to home team?
So with the Rams,
I don't think Minnesota's run game. I know we're backtracking here to going back in time, little flux capacitor action. But I don't think Minnesota's run game is good enough to win that against the Eagles with Dalvin Cook banged up, and I have no faith in Latavius Murray.
None. Syracuse native, Latavius Murray, but none. I'm sticking with the Eagles.
I was just thinking about the back of that game on last.
Sure, you want to cross it off again?
Back in that game with the Rams, and I thought the Rams were going to blow their doors off, and it really looked like they were going to. And Minnesota came back and put up a good game against a superior team. I think so. That's why I'm going with the Rams.
Yeah, but remember what happened 2 weeks ago to the Minnesota Vikings?
I agree.
Circles the Vegas line column now. The Eagles in the Vegas line column.
But the Eagles haven't
Circle the
really been
date.
the Eagles lately, so I'm going to go with the Vikings on that, and then the Los Angeles Rams definitely taking Rams. I don't think anybody's going to go.
Yeah, it's video games.
Rams.
Guess right. The names on that D.
Jared Goff looks amazing.
Looks great.
He's
looks
putting
so
the
good.
ball right in the mark,
Especially with his helmet off.
like he's flinging. He's flinging the ball 50 yards in the air and just dropping in guys' laps.
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable. And I remember watching
Laps, mouths.
I'm watching the game at the bar while I was working, and weirdo. So, and I'm watching them. I'm like, they remind me of the Kurt Warner Rams, the way they're moving down the field and could score at will. And then it was funny because then Kurt Warner posted they
The
look
best show on turf.
right,
Right.
and he expects them to beat those records. I mean, that's what they look, and they got the defense to match.
Todd Gurley, my love for him last year was awesome, and it's just I adore the man now. Todd Gurley is phenomenal.
Yeah,
he's
been
awesome.
great, and that team is just fucking good.
That's a good idea, Dr. Faggot.
That team is just good, and Cooper Kupp, who
We got to get rid of that drop.
Because I always use it on you.
Cooper Kupp, who was he coming into into? The
He's a
season
bona
last
fide
year?
star now.
Yeah, he's a star. Yeah, I'm going Rams. So everybody the Rams.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great.
All right, the game of the week.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we've
Battle
all
of
been
Texas.
chopping at the bit on this
Battle
one.
of Texas.
Yeah. Here's the fucking two games we crucified earlier. The game that should be on at 1 o'clock.
Can't wait to see
Sunday.
Cole Beasley.
the
play.
game that should be at
Sunday night.
the game that should be at fucking 9 a.m. in the UK.
Yeah, why did they move this one over?
the prime time Cole Beasley show. Yeah. Terrence Williams still a Cowboy.
Alfred Blue.
Yeah, Alfred Blue.
At least if they're in
yeah, the
London, they might still have some of those cowboy T-shirts from the Super Bowl.
I like
JJ Watt's that defense is finally coming around for Houston.
3 points is a joke. I think Houston's way more of a favorite.
I think Houston it makes that turn this week.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Dallas. They've done nothing to show me their O-line is
Who's going to
suspect.
cover Hopkins? Who's covering Hopkins?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And then when you got guys out there covering him, Deshaun Watson can run the ball on you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just
even though he's been I don't has he been holding back on us? Is this the week he breaks out? He really hasn't had those breakout plays where he keeps a play alive. He hasn't had that this year. I know he got injured last year, but we haven't seen that from him this year.
They've got so many weapons.
Will Fuller expected to play.
Yeah, see, that's Will Fuller is very underrated behind DeAndre Hopkins there, and the what's his kid's name, Kuti or something like that came out.
Kuti,
yeah, Kuti or something like that. Yeah, he came out of nowhere last week when
he's their slot receiver when Fuller's healthy.
Yeah, when Hopkins went down,
and Fuller was nothing really until Watson came in last year, and then they both
well, it's hard to be
really.
anything with who they had, and the year before that with
I like to see him catch that
Osweiler.
magic. Yeah, Osweiler.
I want to say Will Fuller has had a touchdown in like his last 7 games with Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, Will Fuller is quietly the real deal there, and Will Fuller still gets his dues even when DeAndre Hopkins goes for
right. Right, and it's
140
pick
yards,
your poison on who
2 touchdowns.
I feel like they miss a solid tight end on that Houston team. They need a good, solid, like a Jimmy Graham type.
J.J. Watt.
Right. So take J.J. Watt and put him at tight end.
J.J. Watt should play both sides of the ball. So,
yeah, I'm healthy.
I'm going Houston. Like I said, I think the points are a fucking joke. I think they're way more of a favorite than that. So, there you go. That's my take.
Yeah, I'm going Houston as well.
Houston.
I think there's more stars on the offense and more stars on the defense in Houston than there are in Dallas.
Oh yeah, by far.
In Dallas, if you shut down Zeke, who else scares
That's the
you?
thing. You shut down Zeke. That's all you really have to do.
Yeah, that's all you have to do.
Unless you're really worried about Cole Beasley.
Dak has shown that he can't take the game and put it on his back.
Zeke, leading rusher of the league. I'm
because
saying,
they have to.
Zeke had a great game last.
Just saying, leading passer, leading rusher,
but against
leading receiver.
You went against the Detroit
all
Lions.
on losing teams.
My grandma could play against the Detroit Lions. She can run.
Fuck.
Stats don't mean shit. It's a team game.
Well, that's all they got there in Dallas. I mean, you shut him down. That can't do anything.
That's it.
He's got no outlets. He's got no safe targets to the drop to. So
outlets.
All right. The Washington Redskins will go to the shittiest stadium in sports and the Mercedes-Benz Superdome and
no,
play
that
the
soccer
New Orleans
stadium the Chargers
Saints.
play in is worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what about the old baseball field?
What about Oakland?
Oakland,
too?
Oh yeah, that's a trap too. That's a death trap.
Jesus.
Ian Rappaport, the football writer for the NFL Network, put out a tweet the other day that his 5-year-old son asked him why they were playing football on a baseball field, and he's like, I don't even, like, he put on Twitter. Anyone have a suggestion on how I tell my son this?
The baseball team and the football team share the same field. How hard is that?
Well, it's like,
but it's fucking stupid.
That field looks like Vince Papale played on it. Remember,
John?
You remember that field Vince Papale played on there in the parking lot? That's
expensive.
Pretty much that.
They can't afford that shit. I'm kidding.
Jeez, I was just gonna say, were you gonna go to the Raiders' defense?
Wait till they get to Vegas.
We strike a chord here.
Wait till they get to Vegas and they have memory foam turf.
That's gonna be lush grass. That's gonna be it's not even gonna. Yeah, it's gonna be turf. It's gonna be fucking.
I actually think this next game we'll get to because we're done talking about the Raiders, the Saints and the Redskins, and I actually think this game might be better than we think. Redskins are one of those teams that
they'll keep it close.
They will.
They'll grind
I think
you.
there's some secret weapons in there. They're a better team than we give them credit for.
The Saints' offense has not been the Saints' offense of years past either. The high power.
Back,
yeah, that's a good point. But the high scoring, if you go out and you watch this team and you expect them to I turn on them
week
on and
one against Tampa, that ridiculous shootout. But
now
you're right. They're scoring like 18 to
and that's an even better point.
Points a game.
Yeah, but now you don't have to with Ingram coming back because now you got a guy that could grind it out. Now you got a guy that get 2-3 yards at a whack early on, and next thing you know in the fourth quarter he's getting 5, 6, 7 yards, and he's destroying that defense. So I think that adds a whole different dynamic that they don't have right now.
Sure. No, it is going to be a big change, but
it's the Saints defense that scares me.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. If you got a guy that could grind it out and not have to get in shootouts with teams, you keep that offense off the floor, off the field,
off the court.
Yeah. Sorry, we talked basketball last week. Sorry. But that's why I think having a big grueling back like that, you keep the other team off, and then you don't have to get in shootouts.
Sure. I agree.
And the Redskins have had 2 weeks to prep for this game.
Yeah,
that's a good point too.
But this is Adrian Peterson coming back against a team that misused him, made him look like he was shit. You know what I'm saying? I think look for Adrian Peterson to really want to put out there and say,
and this is Drew Brees'
wait a minute, Adrian Peterson was with the Saints?
Breaking game.
Yeah, last year. Remember he barely played.
No, he was with the Cardinals.
He was with the Saints
first.
Traded.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then he got traded, and then
forgot all about that.
He didn't play much. He was
they misused him.
Barely got any carries. And part of that was because Kamara ended up being incredible.
Blew up,
Right, yeah.
Ingram's great too.
And then Ingram was way better than they anticipated. I mean, Ingram, just the thing that he didn't start last year.
A lot of the reason they brought AP in was because they didn't trust Ingram. Ingram. A lot of people will, kind of forget about this, but Ingram's first year and a half in the league, he wasn't very good.
He was going back like 2 years ago. He was good, but he fumbled a lot. And if you remember Tim Hightower,
Tim Hightower selling cell phones,
took over starting running back duties.
Yeah, they found Tim Hightower in a Verizon kiosk at the mall. They were like, "Come play running back for us," and he beat Mark Ingram out. He played more than Mark Ingram.
What were you saying earlier? Right before we started talking about Ingram coming back, you made a point about
Drew Brees with potential record-setting game here too. So you got to figure his teammates are going to be all fired up for him.
Hell yeah!
I'm going with the Saints.
This could be a trap game.
Chicken actually gave me like a decent thought in my head now. I don't really know.
It's the 2 weeks that scares me.
Yeah,
I've got Saints written down,
but
I haven't circled it yet.
That's one of the reasons why it was so easy for me to pick Carolina, is them coming off a bye against the Giants. So you got Washington coming off a bye, and
so for me, it's like Gaff makes good points because they're going to be kind of fired up to get Drew Brees at record. Ingram's coming back, but shitty Saints D, 2 weeks to prepare. Fuck.
Yep.
Let me throw this out just to make it even fucking worse for everybody.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Washington, 3rd ranked defense.
Really? I would never have seen that.
No. Versus the 4th ranked offense.
Who's the first two?
Wow.
Is that average yards given up or something, or what?
I believe it's got to be yards.
Or is it total yards?
Total yards allowed per game.
Because they've played less game. Oh, per game. Okay.
So they played less games.
Bye week isn't factored in.
Total yards per game allowed. So it's an average. So they played 3.
So it's an average. So that doesn't matter.
There
was a bye week.
Right.
Gotcha.
I was going to say Gaff almost beat you with math.
This could be
John.
Earlier he blinded me with science.
Wow.
Caleb
was like, I don't get it.
I'm picking
music that mommy and daddy had sex to.
I'm picking the Saints. I'm picking the Saints. I'm picking the Saints. John's having a coronary over there.
Oh, that's fucking funny. I forget how young he is sometimes.
You act like we're like I'm 14 and I'm hanging out with the big boys. Like, you invited me to come do this.
Your parents know you're here?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I had to call my mom and tell her I was coming over here. Like,
your mom drops you off and gives you a kiss on the way out of the station wagon.
Throws the bagged lunch after me. Your supper. Your supper.
There's a note in the bag.
No, she wrote it on my napkin. She wrote it on the napkin.
She pins a note on his collar. Return to sender. So you're going Saints.
Yep, I'm going to the Saints.
Gaff?
Saints.
So you're going to go out on a limb?
Where did they play last year? It was
who
indoors.
Gives a fuck?
That's last year. Stop living in the past.
Yeah, last year fucking Kirk Cousins was a quarterback in Washington. Alex Smith wasn't there. They had 3 other wide receivers. They threw shit against the wall.
I'm sticking with my picks. I said I would Saints. Yes, that's it. I wasn't going to let you assholes talk me out of anything. That's why I wrote them down. Sticking with it.
Go Jack.
Speaking of last year, that Houston-Seattle game.
That was Deshaun Watson's best game. I'm going with the Saints. I mean, it's hard to go against Drew Brees. I mean, whenever you have Drew Brees on your team, you're going to win. You got a chance to win, at least. And I think with Kamara, Ingram coming back, I think he's going to be ready and ripping ready to go, man. He's not hurt. It's not like he's coming off an injury. He's been suspended. So I think he's just wants to go out there and hit people. So, and then Drew Brees is going to break the record this game.
Yeah, 201 yards isn't that much to ask.
No, I don't think so.
What the fuck?
But, I think it's going to be closer than we think.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah.
Before we go, I just want to touch on that.
What was that clicking?
That was me. Akeem Hicks pushing the ref. And
we got to talk about Earl Thomas too.
Yeah, and Earl Thomas.
How do we not talk about Earl Thomas?
I know. How did we
about that? Flipping the bird to his own sideline.
He's gone, right?
Well, that was more at management.
I understand it, but still, that's not a good look for any young players that looked up to him. And any kids in the crowd.
And he's got to be so hurt because he wanted to go for that big contract and he wanted to get out of there.
Oh, he's got a legitimate gripe for sure.
So he's like, I came out here, played. Fuck you. I could have held out.
Yep. Yeah, he could have done what Le'Veon Bell did.
And that's what Bell's like, I'll be the bad guy for everybody. But it's like, I get it. You can get hurt and your career's over in a moment's notice, but you signed that original deal. You shouldn't have signed that deal if that's what you wanted. You can't go back in time and say, well, I'm reneging on my deal, so I want more money. Mm-hmm. You signed it. Fulfill your contract.
Well, I was very surprised, not only with what happened. The gesture really didn't I wasn't fazed too much by it, but I understand the point you're coming from, that it's not something that you want in pro sports and there's no place for it. I was surprised. The thing that surprised me was that happened on Sunday night, and Monday, Bell comes out and says, I'll be back week 8, or I'll be back after the bye. He's going to come back after their bye week because he's got to hit a certain amount of games so that he can get the tag money and stuff, whatever. But wasn't this the point you were just trying to make?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I found that to be really odd too. Like that was Le'Veon Bell's point the entire time.
Well, and the reason is though, like we stated earlier, if he doesn't play, he's still held to that tag franchise. So like, if he wants to be done with it, he took off half the season. So now if he goes back in week 8, now he only has to play the second half of the season to get into the playoffs. It's kind of a smart business move. He clears that so he can play, become a free agent next year.
As long as he doesn't blow out his knee or something, it's a smart business.
Right. But, now he's got 8 games under him. He doesn't have to play those first 8 games. Teams will have to readjust to learn how he plays. I think it's a smart move if this is what he wants. If he wants to be released next year, you come in half the season.
Well, no, it's not half. He's coming in after the bye week. They will still have 10 games to go.
I think you said week 8.
No, he's coming in. Their bye week is week 7, but
so they'll have 6 games.
So 6 games in, 6 games played. He'll still have 10 to play. It's not a full contract unless you play 10 games. So he has to play 10.
And that's it. You got to get those 10 games out.
Yeah.
And then become a free agent. That's his best course of action because right now nobody's budging. If he holds out, he's still liable till next year.
There's a stipulation in there where they could sign him but hold him out for 2 weeks. And if they hold him out for 2 weeks, he can then at that point hold out for more money. Yeah. So it's a clusterfuck of small talk.
You're better off just playing it and then
you're better off sign the fucking thing, play the 10 games, get the fuck out.
I heard the price for him is heavy too. I heard they want a good player and a second round pick, which define a good player. But
well, they need secondary help. If you got a team with a couple of safeties,
they need more linebacking help. They need a pass rusher. They need a quarterback for the future.
But I will say though, if that's the price tag on that guy, a biased opinion, but if I'm the Jets and that's a price tag for the guy, I'm doing it. Yeah. I'm doing it. Why not? I mean, throw caution in the wind.
As long as he's going to sign a long-term deal.
Exactly. I would have to have that guarantee.
If you're a Green Bay Packers, or if you're
I would want the deal signed before he was traded.
Or you're the Vikings, a team that you need a little bit of help. Like with Green Bay, it would be dangerous.
Yeah,
super dangerous.
Yeah, they definitely would. So.
I just want to say I want to thank Nye Volkswagen of Rome stopping the showroom at 5865 Taberg Rome in Rome and see why all their customers love doing business with their Nye Volkswagen. Mention Disruption Networks and receive $250 off any purchase. Check out their inventory at NyeVWofRome.com. I had a tongue twister that. And also, as I can get this pulled up.
On Saturday, October 13th at the Jewish Community Center, 2310 Oneida Street, Utica. Music Thunderwatt, The Crazy Fools, and the 315 All-Star Tribute to the Grateful Dead featuring members of Uncle Fester, Groove Garden, Slug, and Aunt Esther. All to honor and preserve the memory of a Utica icon. Come pick up some of the Captain Tripp's personal treasures, beer, wine, food trucks, and local artists and displays. Tickets are $10 in advance, $15 at the door. Partial proceeds to benefit Laney's Army. TripFest is brought to you by the Disruption Network, Doughboy Barbecue, Priceless Inspection, Saranac Brewery, Dr. Scott Del Medico, and Donato Appraisal Services.
Thank you, John.
Captain TripFest.
Now, Gav, too, you're going to be playing at that?
Yeah, I'm going to be at Trip Fest playing, and I can't wait, for one thing. That's going to be a fun event. Earlier that morning, too, there's another event, and you guys brought this up when Shaq was on last week.
Yeah.
The memorial walk for my cousin Connor Linsky. The morning of Saturday, October 13th, the run walk kicks off at 10 a.m. There's a website, connorsway.com. That's CONNORS way.com with all the info and online registration and all that good stuff. And it's a very near and dear cause to myself.
All of us.
And all of us here at the D. Please come out and support. It's going to be a fun day. A great...
Sounds like a hell of a day. Holy shit.
A great event honoring a great young man, and then Trip Fest later on honoring another awesome person, music legend here in Utica, New York.
Definitely. Gav, thanks for coming on tonight.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Appreciated.
If for once you and Caleb are here together.
Thanks for filling in, to be honest.
We almost thought about putting you on the intro. And make sure you catch the baseline. When you guys going again?
We're probably going to be going Wednesday night, I think, after Wrestle Fandom is our tentative plan. We had a show last night. Playoff baseball. The Yankees had a great showing last night. They're going to be playing the Red Sox, so we're going to have a lot to talk about here. So, most likely Wednesday of next week. Playoff baseball. Great time of year for sports, too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not just football, baseball, but hockey's starting. Basketball's right around the corner.
October's the only month where all four major sports play.
It's insane.
Speaking of basketball, too, I don't know if you saw, but Julian Edelman actually trained with the Celtics while he was suspended.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Thought you might be interested in that. I know you're a Celtics fan.
All right, guys, let's get out of here. We'll see you next week. Only on today.
Late.
Oh, help if I hit the commercial.
So you just bought your dream home, and now it's time to move. Let's face it, nobody likes to move. All the packing, unpacking, lifting, upstairs, downstairs, and broking everything, including your back. Let the professionals at EJA Moving Company take all the stress and pain out of your move. Competitively priced moving, relocation services, office moves, and complete packing and unpacking services. They work with everybody to make it simple and easy for you to move and relocate. Call EJA Moving Company at 315-335-0516. When it's time to relocate, have EJA Moving do all the work for you. Hit them up online, ejamoving.com.
Hey, Disruption Network. This is Mike Sacco, the general manager at Nye Volkswagen of Rome. If you don't know me by name, it's only because you have not received the best deal. There's only one reason to leave Utica, and that's to come see me in Rome and get the best deal on your next new, pre-owned, or certified VW. Mention that you heard this ad from Disruption Network and receive $250 off your next vehicle purchase. You'll know why our customers say, I love my Nye VW. Come see us at 5865 Rome Taberg Road in Rome, or visit us online at nyvwofrome.com.
Join us Saturday, October 13th as Disruption Network and Doughboy Barbecue presents Trip Fest 2 at the Jewish Community Center, 2310 Oneida Street in Utica. A night to pay homage to Vinny Captain Trip Moriel. Utica icon, yo! Come pick through all Captain Trip's personal treasures, local artist display, food from Doughboy Barbecue, beer, wine, and live music. Bands include, after a 24-year hiatus, the return of Taurus, Kate Devin, The Crazy Fools, Thunderwatt, and a 315 All-Star tribute to the Grateful Dead. Tickets are $10 in advance and $15 at the door. Partial proceeds to benefit Laney's Army. Doors open at 6 o'clock. Taurus kicks it all off at 6:30. It's Trip Fest 2, Saturday, October 13th. Trip Fest 2 is sponsored by Nye Volkswagen of Rome, 92.7 FM The Drive, Priceless Inspection, Donato Appraisal Services, Dr. Scott Domenico, and Saranac Brewery.
The Property Sisters of the Mohawk Valley was born when three top producing agents with over 25 years of combined experience selling real estate joined forces to take real estate to the next level. We practice with honesty, integrity, and the knowledge to help make the buying and selling process easy and stress-free for all of our clients. We pledge to always make our clients our top priority from start to finish and even after the house is closed. We will always be a valued resource for information and assistance for our buyers and sellers. Our customers over the years have become not only past clients, but great friends. As we join hands together as the Property Sisters of the Mohawk Valley, we look forward to serving our clients and our community and making a positive difference. You can reach us at 315-601-9630 for all of your real estate needs.